If you like Montclair State athletics, you came to the right place because 5 hours of commercial-free Red Hawk Sports Network coverage starts right now. And thank you for joining us here on the Red Hawk Sports Network. It's the third annual Homecoming Live Show, and we're honored to give you all the coverage of Montclair State sports. I'm Matt Bruchet alongside Connor Cupin, and you'll be with us all day long.
You said it yourself, Matt. You know, we've been in the heat of Montclair State fall sports during the entire duration of this production, and with everything that's happening, it's going to be an absolute treat to talk all things Red Hawks today.
Couldn't agree more, Connor. It's been awesome to follow these teams throughout their new seasons, and with so many new faces, including a new head coach, which we're going to talk more about later. But this is your first semester as a broadcast intern. What have you loved so far?
Oh, I've loved every single second of being an intern, but the number one thing is working as a team. We've sort of become like a small family of sorts. Like, I've been friends with everyone even before becoming a broadcast intern, but now I get to do what I love and with all of you guys, the people I love doing it with.
That's very sweet. And all of that has led us here today. Connor, what do we have to look forward to?
Well, Matt, we have an absolutely stacked show. First off, we're going to be talking about Coach Palazzo and his illustrious career as a longtime Red Hawk. Then we'll keep things on the gridiron and catch up with the football team and what they're looking forward to at homecoming.
Yeah, then we're going to transition to volleyball with a special guest of head coach Ed Stawinski joining us on the set. After that, we're going to catch up with our sideline reporters for the day, Luke Sirianni and Vincent Picone. Can't wait to see what they have in store for us.
And then later on in the show, we'll get to talk with one of our guys in the booth, our very own Anthony Cofone, and he's going to tell us his keys to the game for a Red Hawk W.
And Connor, this is a Montclair State team that has high expectations for the season. What do we see from this program last year?
Well, last season didn't exactly go as planned. After winning two of their first three games, they would unfortunately go winless the rest of the way. But there were many bright spots that were taken into the offseason and now being polished in this campaign. One of those was being able to watch the new head coach, Mike Palazzo, grow into his new role.
Yeah, Connor, you can see how much of an instant impact Coach Palazzo has had on his team after the changing of the guard, after Coach G's legendary run as the Red Hawks head coach for 40 years.
We actually spoke to Coach Palazzo about his new title, his years on the field, and just what goes into making the role of head coach his own.
When Mike Palazzo was appointed head coach of the football program at Montclair State University in November 2022, it marked the start of a new era for MSU football. The road to Palazzo's hiring was marked by his everlasting passion for the game and his never-ending quest for greatness. As a crucial member for the Montclair State coaching staff for nearly 10 years, Palazzo has committed himself to honing his coaching abilities under the guidance of longtime head coach Rick Giancola, who Palazzo always looked up to as a mentor.
Trying to fill the role or fill the shoes of Coach Giancola is very difficult because you have to be your own person. And what I try to do is take the lessons that he taught me in the time that I was a player here and then the time when I was assistant here and instill that in my way to the team. You know, I think Coach G and I have very similar core values and beliefs on what this program should do for a young man. But, you know, I just want to do it in my way.
One of the hardest things to do is to be a head coach in any sport and still be a coach in that sport. My only advice to him was be you. Don't change anything that's not you. It's not real. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be more than willing to help you. I'm not going to walk in and tell him what to do, how to do it, where to do it, when to do it. That's his job. That's what he's going to do.
In 2007, Palazzo started working at MSU as a student assistant. During that year, the Red Hawks, ran by Coach Giancola, would go on to win the NJAC South Atlantic Championship, a notable accomplishment that served as the catalyst for his enduring relationship with the team and Coach G, along with the knowledge of how winning teams are made.
The years when we won the NJAC, the team was so connected. and the culture was so good. We were able to overcome anything that came our way. And I have plenty of stories, probably stuff I could tell you off the record. Some adversity that hit during those seasons in 2009, 2010, that we came together. I mean, that's something that I've really, really tried to impress upon our senior and junior leaders of the program, to bring those young guys along and get everybody to buy in so we can overcome those difficult times.
Palazzo appeared in 29 games while he was an active player with the Redhawks, securing 2 NJAC championship titles, but his constant passion for the game and his teammates was demonstrated not just by his performance, but by the praise he earned for his selflessness and commitment. He received the Fred Hill Hustle Award in 2008, which recognized his consistent work ethic and resolve. Additionally, Palazzo received the Alan Coder Award in 2011, which awarded his dedication and commitment to put the needs of the team ahead of his own. These honors attest to his exceptional character and commitment to the football program at Montclair State, something Palazzo said he attributes to the late Sam Mills.
Sam Mills has a huge impact on my life. I unfortunately never was able to meet him, but he was an undersized linebacker and obviously was a much better football player than I was. But when I was in high school, I always looked at Sam Mills, and I kind of was inspired by him because he's an undersized linebacker playing the NFL. And ironically, when I played in the All-Star game my senior year, the All-Shore game, I was awarded the Sam Mills Award. So then fast forward, I get here, and obviously he's an alum of this university.
Palazzo has had a big impact on MSU in several ways in addition to his football accomplishments. After his playing days came to an end, Palazzo once again became part of the team from 2012 to 2013, serving as the tight ends and video coordinator. Due to his unwavering dedication and love for football, Palazzo was driven to pursue his dreams at the prestigious Division I Towson University. In 2014, he assumed the job of defense quality control coach, a position that allowed him to further immerse himself in the intricacies of the game.
My first 2 years, I was a part-time coach here after I was finished playing, and I made a whopping $1,200 the first year and $2,400 the second year, and then I took a $2,400 pay cut to go to Towson. But the most important thing about Towson was just seeing how other things work in college football and seeing the rat race of Division I, seeing what it's like to be a low-level assistant in a higher-level program and all the grunt work that goes into it. I literally didn't have a place to live. I just lived in the office.
Palazzo acquired priceless insights into the realm of film analysis and practice planning, enhancing his expertise, which he brought with him when he returned to Montclair in 2015, taking on the responsibility of being the wide receivers coach, where he helped produce several all-NJAC wide receivers.
Something that I've always tried to preach and definitely preach with the team now, and I did with the receivers when I was coaching them, is having a standard of perfection and trying to be perfect every day. And nobody's ever perfect. There's never been a perfect game that's been played. There's never been a perfect game out of a receiver. But trying to pursue that. You know, if you have 100 balls a day that you could catch 100 of them. And if you don't, catch 99, that's pretty good.
Coach Palazzo is a huge contributor to the development and growth of Montclair State football, playing a pivotal role in shaping its future trajectory. He dedicates his time and effort towards instilling dedication, teamwork, and excellence into the upcoming generation of athletes, molding them into well-rounded individuals who possess the necessary skills to excel both on and off the field.
We want to win, that's our goal. Everybody knows that, but the rest of the pieces have to fall into place for that to happen. And if we do all the other things we're trying to do and have a disciplined group of guys, have a respectful group of guys, have a trustworthy group of guys, and they all start to buy into that and be resilient and overcome the adversity, those are lessons that are going to be with them for the rest of their lives outside of football. So something as a player I just always really bought into, and then the keep pounding mentality and overcoming adversity is a huge thing. And that's what I preach to the team now, that keep pounding mentality and overcoming adversity, and being resilient. It's not easy to play football. It's not easy to do what we do, but you got to be able to get through that, because if you're not able to get through the sting of a loss or a tough game, then you're really going to struggle in life later on when you have really big things that come at you.
Lazo, such a joy to be around. I'm very excited to see how his coaching style grows on this program.
You said it best, Matt. You can already see it on the field after Montclair started this season off with a win against Gettysburg College. Coming off 2 losses, Montclair hosts TCNJ today for their first NJAC matchup of the season.
Yeah, then that NJAC play is going to continue into the next few weeks, where they'll travel to Kane University and see the Cougars, followed by a home game against Salisbury University October 14th and at William Patterson on October 21st.
If you like returning faces, then you'll also like Montclair's home matchup against Rowan on October 28th for Alumni Day, with their last away game takes them to Virginia to face Christopher Newport on November 4th.
And the final game of the season at Sprague Field against Muhlenberg College on November 11th. And we're joined here on the set outside Sprague Field. Very special guest, President Coppell. Thank you for joining us.
Great to be here, Matt.
So it's homecoming. What does this mean to the Montclair State campus?
Well, what it means is it's an energizing day, right? You've got a huge crowd of people up the hill from us, and people are excited to be at the university, celebrate what Montclair State University means to them.
And now all this talk about Coach Palazzo, how excited are you for him in this? It's his first homecoming after Coach G was the head coach for so many years.
Well, I mean, this program is synonymous with Coach G, as you guys know, and I think Coach Palazzo gets to make it his own now, right? And he's been a part of Montclair, as we just saw, for a long time. But there's new energy and there's new excitement that I think is about having a new coach, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
And so far this season, all of athletics has been showing out to all the other games, like men's basketball teams and the football teams going to the volleyball. How important is this athletics community to be together?
Well, I'm really glad. Oh, did you see that?
Lantern fly.
Ah, that's good. We've got special effects. So it's one of my favorite things when I go to games is what you observe, that you see the coaches and the players from the other teams coming out to support each other. The other day, we had a huge crowd at a women's volleyball game, and the football team was out in big, loud numbers. And I think it speaks a lot to the culture of the university to have the athletes supporting each other. I think it's really special. I don't think you'd see that at many other schools.
Well, thank you so much, President.
You're not going to get into Zach Wilson and Taylor Swift.
No,
Come on.
Let's actually talk about that. So, what do you think of this Taylor Swift thing?
I think it's hilarious that's what everybody wants. It tells you something about the magnitude of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
That's the story. I mean, I guess as a Jets fan, you're like, anything to not talk about Aaron Rodgers, and so we'd rather talk about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But it is pretty funny.
And then, so this is Montclair State with the merger with Bloomfield. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, that's a really exciting thing that Bloomfield has now become part of Montclair. We've got the Deacon the Bear is making the rounds up at homecoming, and there's Bloomfield College folks here in force. What's exciting is it's another way in which Montclair is being innovative, making a difference. As you probably know, because we've talked about it, Bloomfield is the only predominantly black institution in New Jersey, and so this is a real symbol of our commitment to make sure that higher education is accessible to a diverse population across our state. And as you know, it's kind of cool. We add another athletic program to the stable of teams that we're following here and excited about.
Well, now here at homecoming, what number? How many homecomings have you had now?
So this would be my third homecoming, and I think each of those 3 years it's growing, and we're trying to turn it into a real attraction that people are coming. Obviously, alumni, but what's cool is that I think of homecoming as more a community gathering. So yes, alumni, but also family members. Tons of family members of current and former students and community members are coming out and really embracing Montclair as a centerpiece of our broader community, and you're feeling that energy right now.
Yeah, do you happen to see familiar faces all over?
I see familiar faces, and the funny thing in my position is people seem to recognize me. So that's a good sign that people are like, I know that guy. He's been around a while now. So that's sort of a fun part of it too.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for coming out today. And despite a 1-2 record, we've seen a lot of good football played by the Redhawks.
Their first home game included them coming back from a huge deficit and almost pulling out the victory in overtime.
That was a crazy game, and it really shows the resiliency of this Montclair State roster. And speaking of this Montclair State roster, who are some of the guys that we should be looking out for today?
We, of course, have to talk about Clarence Wilkins. As a defense, you have to be looking out for him at all times with his ability to stretch the floor. Johnny Mendez as well is back and looks as elite as ever. almost averaging 8 yards a carry with 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's been unstoppable and very tough for defenders to bring down.
Yeah, those are some great picks. One of the first guys that comes to my mind is Nicholas Burgess. He was given the number 0, which for those that don't know is a relatively new tradition for Montclair State football. The number is voted by the team and given to the player who's a leader on and off the field. We saw Mike Ramos sport that number the last 2 years and is now helping the team on the coaching staff. Burgess holds that honor and is living up to it as he currently leads the team in tackles with 22.
You can tell just how hard he has worked to earn that number, and he's really proven it on the field. But back over to the offensive side of the ball, you got to keep an eye on Zach Lewis. He's been a very effective security blanket for quarterback Andrew Sanborn thus far.
And I'm glad you mentioned Andrew Sanborn. He currently is in his first season as starting quarterback for this Montclair State team. Let's look at how he's fared so far this year.
Well, Matt, he's got 7 touchdowns, and the most interesting part, only 3 of them are through the air. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, and that's some serious dual threat action out there. He's throwing for 491 yards and he's rushed for 63 on the year. However, he has thrown 4 interceptions, but 3 of them came against last week, played against Union College, and that Union team is 4-0, so no one has an answer for them. And through 3 games this year, he's only taken 1 sack. A true testament to the O-line and his pocket awareness.
Yeah, I've been a huge fan of Sanborn and the way he's played this season. Also, a huge shout out to the big guys up front. Only allowing 1 sack so far this season is a great accomplishment, and that's going to be critical today against a TCNJ team that comes in with 5 sacks.
Now, this is a production that takes so much planning and, of course, practice. Just like how we're doing it, Montclair's doing the same thing for TCNJ right now to get ready for this game.
Yeah, they've been working for it all week. What do you think Coach Blas has been telling the guys so far in practice?
Oh, Matt, the first thing is 100% establishing the run, because Johnny Mendez, as we mentioned, averaging almost 8 yards a carry. This TCNJ defense has given up 100+ rushing yards in every single game. And once you open up the rushing lanes, then comes the pass. Now, Montclair State passing pretty well, and TCNJ's defense has given up a crazy amount of passing yards per game. So once you establish the run, here comes the pass.
Yeah, and we talked about Sanborn's interceptions before. How do they limit the turnovers today?
You got to take what the defense gives you. Had a rough last outing against Union College with a few turnovers, but now it's time to reset and retool. As long as the offense is patient and lets plays develop, there should be no issue with the turnovers.
And that's going to be very important today. But you know the players are going to be wanting to play their best in front of this homecoming crowd. What's your favorite part of homecoming?
Best homecoming moment is by far seeing almost the whole school in one spot. This isn't the biggest campus in the world, but it certainly is spread out a solid amount, and homecoming is one of those few times where you really see everyone all uniting for one thing, and that's to celebrate being a Montclair State Red Hawk.
Well, we got the chance to speak to some players this past week and find out what homecoming means to them.
Homecoming means the university getting together, alumni coming back, and coming to the football game and having a good time and cheering on the team.
So, I mean, homecoming means to me is it's just a community coming together to show their support, show the school spirit, and, you know, hopefully come out with a dub and get on top.
Homecoming means just coming together as a team, you know, 11 as one, because there's no I in team. We work together as a team. And homecoming means just a big celebration, school coming together, teammates, players.
My favorite thing about homecoming has got to be the football game, of course. I love when, you know, the whole crowd, whole community pops out, and you know, it's real loud. There's a lot of energy, you know, on the field, in the stadium. So that's probably my favorite part.
My favorite part is having like all the alumni in the stands cheering us on because they all been here and done it. So it's good to show out for them.
My favorite part about homecoming is how packed campus gets. Everyone's out for homecoming on the Saturday. There's a bunch of stuff to do on campus, and I like how all the alumni come back and have a good time.
My expectation for this homecoming game is just to win.
Just dominating and getting the win.
Win the game.
Oh, a win. That's it. A win. That's it.
It's a flag. Okay. On him, personal foul. He was not at practice today, so flag him.
All right, thank you.
Swing here with their United Soccer rankings, 4th and 10th respectively. Montclair State men's soccer ranked 4th and women's soccer ranked 10th, both dominating the pitch. Field hockey is still finding their stride with a record of 4-7. This happened last season too. And then they went on a tear heading into the playoffs. And my colleague's favorite sport, volleyball, has also had its ups and downs with the loss of some big names like Leah Higgins and Carly Waterman.
And welcome back here on the set at Sprague Field with head coach Ed Swinski of the volleyball team. Coach, how are we doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, living the dream.
Nice.
Before we talk about this season, I want to talk about your professional playing days in Puerto Rico. Can you talk to us about that and how that's helped you today?
Yeah, I mean, playing in Puerto Rico was an amazing experience. Got to play with former national team players, Olympic, athletes, best scorers in the world. So it was a really good experience playing at home in front of my family and friends and in front of packed gyms. A different level of volleyball. So that's a memory that will last forever.
And you know what it's like to do a lot of traveling. You have a roster that's full of players from out of state. Do you think that has helped you be more connected with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, I came from a Division III where our entire program was from all over the country, including some international students. So it was a really good experience to, I think, that I had as a player. So I want to replicate that for my student athletes. So having players from all over the country, it's really good for our program, and then obviously I can help them with that transition to college since I lived it as a player as well.
So now, from day one to now, how much growth have you seen through the team this season?
I mean, a great growth. I mean, here's the thing: you're not going to see it in the records, but we see it day to day. The growth that we've done, the development that we've done through the year, and we're playing a very tough schedule, and that's part of, how do you train experience? Just get them experience and playing some tough teams, and right now our motto is we win or we learn, and we're going to learn from every single one of the teams that we've played so far, and I think hopefully that's going to aid our development this season and for the next couple of years.
And speaking of your whole team there, 19 players on the roster, and you also have 3 kids at home, so what's it like sort of balancing fatherhood and coaching all at the same time?
It's not easy, and there's not an instruction manual to do, but to follow. But I think I have very supportive family. My wife was an athlete as well at college, so we understand the work-life balance. But I think you have to, you do your job, and then you also have to go home and do your job as well. So it's something that I've learned through the years how to balance it, and it keeps me on my toes. But it's a good gig.
Thank you, Coach Dewinski. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
And now, Matt Boucher, where are we headed?
Well, as we continue this great day here at Sprague Field, we're going to go over to Lot 7, where Luke Sirianni, our sideline reporter, is there. Luke, how's it going?
It has been flooding and rough weather all week, but that doesn't stop our current and former Red Hawks from tailgating. Behind me, we have multiple food trucks, a lot of games, and ready for some Montclair State football. I'm here joined by Montclair State alumni Dina. Dina, how does it feel to be back on campus after graduating in the spring?
Visiting back here is like visiting home, so it's like seeing friends and family all over again, so I really much enjoyed it.
And anything that stood out to this tailgate that has been fun for you, or any good food or games that you played so far?
Honestly, you said it, the food has been really good. I actually got a taco from the taco truck not that long ago, and it exceeded my expectations.
And we have a game starting in just about 40 minutes. Do you have a score prediction or a winner tonight?
Well, of course the Red Hawks are going to win, like 32-26, I'll say.
Love to hear it. Everything's going great up here. I hear Vincent Picone has an update about Yogi Berra near the field. Vincent, what do you have for us?
Thank you so much, Luke. It looks like you're having a great time. Don't forget to bring me a taco, because I can smell them all the way over here. Now, Montclair is home to some beautiful stadiums, one of which is Yogi Berra Stadium, which was built in 1999 and hasn't been renovated since. Until now, an unlikely partnership between NJAC and Montclair has been made. Kurt Wright has more on the future of Logie.
Agreed to a license agreement to have both teams use Yogi Berra Stadium for games, practices, and other sponsored events. Some additions include artificial turf, new draining services, and building improvements. MSU and NJIT are partnering to renovate and play at historic Yogi Berra Stadium. Yogi Berra has been the home of Montclair State baseball since 1999. The Red Hawks recently shared the stadium with the Independent League's New Jersey Jackals, who left last season. So splitting time is nothing new to MSU. The Highlanders are a D1 team. They needed a stadium with a large amount of seats, and Yogi Berra's 5,000 person capacity and short 20-minute commute made it the perfect choice. a joint press conference was held at Yogi Berra Stadium announcing the partnership.
Yogi Berra had many famous catchphrases, things we all called Yogiisms. One of his most famous was, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Both Montclair State University and NJIT have taken it in a unique and special way. They've joined forces to call this stadium home for both of their baseball programs.
It featured big names like the most recent All-American for the Redhawks, Sam Angelo.
You know, now that it's finally here, it's just a sign of relief that the stadium and the team and Montclair State and even NJIT are getting the recognition they finally deserve. 3 national championships, that says a lot. We're a very historic school with a very historic baseball program, and we're just happy and we're, you know, really accepting it.
For the last 5 seasons, Montclair has been led by Coach Lorber, who has talked to us about 2 teams being able to join together on the field.
You know, I think the collaboration between NJIT Athletics and their baseball program and our baseball program coming here, it's a wonderful thing. You know, you get to have 2 like-minded partners in the pursuit of excellence on the baseball field, and we're going to have a world-class facility because of that, and two groups that are going to take care of it to the best that they can to make it a world-class facility for our athletes to enjoy every day, and so we're excited about that.
Also in attendance was Montclair State University's president, Jonathan Capel. He told us how he was excited for the bond between these 2 astonishing schools.
We don't see this as just a baseball stadium. This is a resource that can enhance life for the university. This opens the door for a lot of different collaboration.
And it's not only Redhawks looking forward to the spring. NJIT has been without a stadium since 2019. The most recent home was Riverfront Stadium. Sadly, it was demolished to make way for Riverfront Square. Senior NJIT catcher Luke Longo spoke about his thoughts on the new stadium.
I've been looking forward to this for such a long time. I remember coming in as a freshman and seeing the blueprints for our potential field that we had. And now that the day has finally come, it's great. I can't wait for it to happen.
Last season, NJIT finished with a 22-31 record, while the Redhawks finished 36-11, with a 16-3 record at Yogi. The Redhawks lost in the NJAC tournament to NJCU and Kane in double elimination. We cannot wait to see both teams on the new field this spring.
Yogi Berra is going to be looking better than ever before with all these new additions. And speaking of new additions, you'll find some if you take a look at the men's basketball team. Today, we have head coach Justin Potts and his 2 daughters, Kennedy and Quinn, here with us. So how's your homecoming been going so far?
Well, hopefully that victory leads to another one tonight for Coach Palazzo and his team.
Now, I believe she also said that she prefers soccer over to basketball. What is your opinion on that one there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have to be okay with it. You know, as a parent, you got to support no matter what it is. You know, so basketball is a distant second, but it's at least on the podium somewhere.
All right. Well, Coach, spring and summer have both come and gone, and now the team is rested and ready to go. How excited are you to hit the court and to get back into the swing of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is, you know, we had a great year last year trying to obviously capture that success and build onto it as you move forward. You know, I say all the time at this time of the year, the players are ready to move a lot faster than we are. You know, we as coaches, you want a little bit more time to practice and those kind of things. Our guys are looking for a filled Panzer already. We obviously got a little bit of time for that, about a month and a half until we start playing games. But with the rule change this year in Division III, we've already had 5 practices, which is nice to be able to get on the floor and do some different stuff with our guys. So again, looking forward to the year. We have a lot of guys coming back. We're obviously going to miss Steve Bremen, who had a heck of a year, but really excited for what lies ahead.
And you mentioned filling Panzer. Your guys were at the volleyball games, they go to the soccer games. How important is it for these athletics departments to lift each other up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really what small college athletics is all about, is athletes supporting other athletes. You know, the sellout for the volleyball game was awesome. You know, our guys being able to be there and support, as well as the football team and all the other teams. You know, when you're an athlete, that's your special night, game night, which is just like for you guys calling games and being a part of that. So it's great to be there to support each other and really give them a special environment.
Now, unfortunately, last season you saw some big injuries with Amir Williams going down, Devin Cooper going down. How important has this offseason been for everyone recharging and getting fully healthy and ready for this year?
Yeah, I mean, we always say, you know, the crazy thing in athletics is you can't really control the injury. Obviously, it's going to happen. We lost 4 of our top 9 between Amir, Coop. Kyrie was out with mono for a little while. You know, so it's just one of those things. You got to learn to deal with it. I thought we battled through the adversity well, and then I think our guys did a remarkable job in the offseason. Amir's already been cleared. Coop's already been cleared. Those guys are probably about a month to 2 months ahead of schedule, so it proves they did what they needed to do in the summer. You know, hopefully we get a little bit more luck this year with the injury bug. You know, our guys did a great job in preparation in the offseason, so hopefully we can stay healthy.
And we're very excited for some Montclair men's basketball this season. Kennedy and Quinn, are you guys excited for some Montclair men's basketball?
Yeah. Yeah. I miss being able to go to the games.
Are you going to be able to go this year?
Probably.
Yeah, they usually catch some Saturday games, right? She usually plays, so she might not be making the Saturday games. Hopefully she's out there getting buckets for herself.
And how has that been? How has it been to watch your daughters grow up and to play sports, soccer, basketball, dance?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're a coach's kid, you grow up in the gym. We have 18 guys on our roster. They're like big brothers to these two. You know, they when they come to practice, they work the scoreboard and they're getting to know the guys. So I think for them, it's great to be on a campus and a college environment, as well as be around a team and kind of see how we do things. And we run our program like a family, so that's why our guys get to know them. They were screaming to Mike Jack on our way in. He was up there working the security gate. So for me, it's great to have them a part of it. And I think for them, you know, it opens their eyes to a lot of different things as well.
And who have your guys been your favorite players on the team?
Favorite player?
I like all of them, but I'm gonna have to say Steve Bremen.
Steve Bremen, yours?
Probably Steve or Coop or Mikey Jack.
All right.
Yeah,
we're going to miss Steve. They know Steve. They've been around Steve for a long time, so he was my favorite player on a lot of nights as well.
Yeah, I think if you ask most people that, they're going to say that they love Steve, but you guys got some big shoes to fill with him. How is that going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing as a team is you can't expect to do that with one guy. I think guys' roles are going to change. Keon was playing at a really high level at the end of the year. Mike Jack's had 2 phenomenal years, you know, since he's been here. So I expect those guys to kind of raise their level, you know. And then I think we have some other guys that, you know, can elevate themselves, Kyrie and some of those guys. So hopefully guys step up and fill that void.
And we're going to see some fast-paced sports playing later today on the football field. You know, they run the RPO with Sanborn. Did you and Palazzo share notes about playing fast?
No, I mean, I just always tell Palazzo, play as fast as you can. Press no matter what, blitz everybody, empty the blitz package. You know, so it's great to see what they're doing. He's off to a great start. I'm happy for him, and you know, the way we play is never going to change. So get used to that again. Yeah. We'll be flying up and down the floor, shooting a bunch of threes.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Potts. It's been an honor having you here, and we have a great homecoming.
I appreciate it. What you guys do is unbelievable, so thanks for all the support you guys give us.
Awesome. And you talked about it. Another year of the Red Hawk Sports Network means another year of improving our broadcasts, doing video editing, graphics, all of that. We also have a new show. It's the Sports Trivia Show, the first ever of the Red Hawk Sports Network's RHSN The Show, and it puts Montclair State to the test on how well they know their MSU athletics and other various general trivia. That's in addition to our Highlight Studio show, Inside the Nest. And lots of programming to keep us busy.
It has been a ton of fun to create both these shows, and it was especially funny watching our fellow interns duke it out for that oh-so-prestigious RHSN The Show t-shirt.
Yeah, although I'm not so sure the winner deserved the t-shirt, considering all 3 participants finished with scores in the negatives. Along with the studio shows, the Red Hawk Sports Network has been producing weekly multicam games, which allows the fans of Montclair State Athletics to get a look at their favorite teams in a whole new way. We've grown our production since last year. I talked about adding video packages, graphics, instant replay, which our directors are very excited about.
And all these multicam games lead to even more opportunities and allow students to get experiences that will really help all of us out for the future.
Yeah, for sure, Connor. It really has been incredible to watch how much the Sports Network has grown throughout the years, and we know it'll only get better. Now let's look at a team that continues to get better with every game, the men's soccer team who went to Germany.
It's the start of another Montclair State semester, and the men's soccer team has been putting in the work for another successful season. But before that season started, the team did something extra special. The Red Hawks traveled to Munich, Germany, where they had a chance to test and showcase their skills against German teams.
I didn't know a lot about the German leagues and all the different levels that they have out there and how professionally they treat them. Played a 5th division team, and we also played a 6th division team. So, I talked to a couple coaches at the Division I level who kind of were recruiting out there and knew what level to look after and what type of teams we wanted to play.
The Redhawks were in Munich for 6 days, playing only 2 games against 5th division team SG Sonnenhof Grossaspach and 6th division team TSV Empfing. MSU won both of their games, but not without some physical competition.
The teams over there were very big, very physical, huge guys and stuff, so it was very challenging. But at the end of the day, we're Montclair State, so we also have a good group of guys here, so it was very nice, to go and challenge that team. We came out with 2 wins, so that was very good, and we build up from there.
Owen Murphy was able to put himself on the score sheet as he put up the first goal for the Redhawks against SG Sonnenhof Grossaspach.
It was awesome. It was the first goal for us, so we broke the deadlock in that game, so I was really excited to score for the team, and just scoring in another country, I don't know, something about it kind of just made it a little cooler, made it a little better, saying I scored in Germany. So everything about it was awesome, just scoring for the team and contributing in that way.
But this trip wasn't just about the preseason training. In fact, they had a chance to experience Germany's culture and local sport. However, the big event was at Allianz Arena with the iconic Bayern Munich Football Club.
The Allianz Arena, Bayern Stadium, is very, very nice. It was super cool. Too bad the game we went to, Bayern lost 3-0, so that was definitely a little tough. They couldn't even score a goal, so we didn't get to experience the crowd that way, but still very, very great experience. Got to see Harry Kane's debut too, which was super cool. So my favorite moment was when we went to Marienplatz, which is like a square over there, and I actually went for a walk around by myself a little bit, just kind of explored. And no, it was really cool. I just liked the architecture. Very beautiful city.
After 6 days, 2 wins, and lots of new experiences, this trip was definitely something that brought the Red Hawk team closer together. And it's that chemistry that's helped them pick up where they left off last season.
The men have continued their excellence on the field, winning again today against Ramapo, now at 9-0-1. And coming straight from that win, we have Ian Chesney with us. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Picked up a big win today, get some more conference points.
And as a college athlete, how does it say to be able to, I played in Germany?
It's definitely, a great feeling. Most college athletes don't get to play at, outside of the country, and I think that was a great experience for all of us, get to play against some other players and other styles of game that we normally don't see here in, college sports, college soccer.
Now switching gears back over to playing back at home, you guys have been absolutely killing it this year, undefeated. What's been the keys to your dominant success thus far? This is an unreal run.
Yeah, I think, we have some really good talent all the way through the roster, 1 through 36. And I think, just working as a team and, keep taking every game as it goes, not worried about a game later in the season, just what we have in front of us each day and trying to get better, trying to improve. And yeah.
It seems like every team here at Montclair State plays so fast. So we just talked to Coach Potts, and you know about the run and gun defense that they play.
Yep.
We're going to see the RPO a lot today for football. You guys do something that not a lot of teams can do with the deep through balls. So you see a lot of your passes go all the way to Shelton.
Yeah.
How long did that take to perfect?
Yeah, I think it's just one of our game plans. We have that in our arsenal. All of our guys throughout the back can play a longer ball, and I think we can also play through the midfield. So, it gives us just more ways to attack and more, opportunities to score goals. So, yep.
Now I got to ask you about the unreal talent that Amir Lukovic is. 17 goals in 10 games. Everyone wants to know, Ian, is he human?
Yeah, he's definitely human. Yeah, he's a very, very good player, and he's a very good teammate. He's not worried about how many goals he's scoring. He's just worried about getting the win. He's maybe one of the most competitive guys I've ever met, and all he wants to do is win. And that's what we look for out of all of our guys.
We see a lot of controlling the midfield. Owen Murphy has done a really great job. What do you think about the midfield in general and Owen Murphy?
Yeah, I think, even from last year, we've improved a lot in the midfield. I think we've figured it out a lot more with the triangle inside and, defending and attacking. And I think those guys, whoever comes into the midfield, have worked well together, and, it'll be good going forward.
Now, Amir might have a ton of goals on the year, but we know it's not just him. Everyone on this team is clicking. And how important is it that would you say that it is that everyone is on the same page day in and day out?
Yeah, I think it's so important because, if guys are, doing something else or worried about themselves or, thinking about scoring goals, then you're not gonna do great as a team. But I think collectively, every day in practice, we just want to get better. We're looking for looking to the next game, and we're just trying to, win as many games as possible and, win the NJAC.
You guys are scoring in bunches, but it almost is like the defense has been the unsung hero. You guys have only allowed less than 7 goals this year. Can you talk about Shane and Boris and how well they've played this season?
Yeah, but, all of our goalies are great. They're, I would play in front of any of them. It doesn't matter. I think who is ever in net, I feel very comfortable with, and I feel a lot of faith in our back line. I think, we take pride in ourselves. Not giving up goals. I think it's important in order to win games, especially big games. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's been a pleasure having you on. Now, back to football. Let's get a good look into today's matchup as we get closer and closer to kickoff. These teams are very familiar with each other, with today's matchup being the 90th in history between the Lions and the Redhawks. Montclair State has had the upper hand in 55 of those contests, including a 9-game winning streak. And in their last 10 matchups, it's neck and neck, with Montclair just slightly having the edge, winning 6 of them.
Hey, when these two teams face off, the Redhawks average about 19.5 points per game, which is 40 less points than what they would put up way back in 1941 when they secured a victory 59-7. I'm going to come out and say I don't think today's final score will be 59-7, but I do know it's going to be a fun one.
And for more, we go into the mind of broadcast intern Anthony Cufone and his keys to the game.
Montclair State takes a 1-2 record into their NJAC opener tonight against TCNJ. After a tough 43-7 loss against Union College last Saturday, the Redhawks look to bounce back in a big way. Here are 4 things they need to do to get the win. First off, MSU needs to limit the turnovers. You can't afford to give TCNJ prime field position off of offensive miscues. In games this year when the Redhawks commit less than 2 turnovers, they are 1-0. In games where they commit more than 1, they are 0-2. Keeping the offense on the field is a must for Coach Palazzo. That brings me to my second key, which is keeping penalties to a minimum. The Redhawks are the most penalized team in the NJAC this season with 28 penalties through 3 games. They average 103 penalty yards a game, and those are yards they cannot afford to lose. The third key of the game is riding the running game. Montclair State has averaged 122 yards per game on the ground this year and have 2 dominant running backs in their backfield in Abijani Mendez and Henry Lewis. Lewis and Mendez are 5 and 6 in the NJAC in yards per game, with both of them averaging over 5 yards per carry. Look for MSU to grind out long drives on the ground. And my final key of the game is to keep dominating in the red zone. The Redhawks have been really good inside the 20-yard line this season. They've scored on 8 of their 11 attempts through 3 games inside the red zone. Being able to capitalize on their scoring opportunities when they have them is pivotal for victory. If the Redhawks can do these 4 things, it should be smooth sailing for the next 4 quarters.
And welcome back here on the Redhawks Sports Network. Matt Boucher, talking with Anthony Cufone, our broadcaster. Anthony, how you doing up there?
Matt, we're doing great up here. It's a little chilly up here. We got the AC going, but we're all good.
Well, you guys look great. Can you talk about what homecoming means to you? We've heard what it means to a lot of people today. Curious what your thoughts are.
Homecoming is definitely a great time here at Montclair State. You got all these former alumni coming back here. I've already run into a few of that I used to hang out with back a couple years ago. So seeing all these old guys and getting to catch up with them has been such a great time, and I really cherish these moments.
Well, don't tell them that they're old. We have a lot of new faces this year. Andrew Sanborn, quarterback for this team. You guys will probably talk a lot about him today. What have been your first impressions on him?
Yeah, Sanborn is definitely is a really good talent right now. 2019 NJ High School Player of the Year at Union High School, and he's come in and he's kind of energized this offense. You saw in that game against Franklin and Marshall, they were down 17-0 at the end of the first quarter, and he rallied the team back, took a 25-17 lead. Unfortunately, the Redhawks couldn't get that win in that game, but his ability to bounce back after struggling early on in that game shows a lot of poise, shows a lot of character. I think Sanborn could really be a leader on this team.
How important is getting the run game going today?
Oh, I mentioned it. You saw in that little piece that they ran before. I think the run game is huge. Abijani Mendez, Henry Lewis, Mekhi Mickens, that three-headed monster at running back that they have is such a pivotal factor in this offense. If they can establish the run game, 5 to 6 yards a carry a pop, that opens up a lot of passing lanes to Clarence Wilkins in the passing game. I think if they can get that running game going early, it's going to be huge dividends for this offense as the game goes along.
And it kind of really all starts with the guys up front. Can you talk about them, the fact they've only allowed 1 sack this season?
Yeah, the offensive line has come up huge. You've seen some inputs. You've seen Manganella, Sam Ray, some of these guys on this offensive line who've been around this program for 4 or 5 years. They've consistently put together a good performance after good performance each week. I think that starts at practice. These guys go on one-on-ones. I talked to Palazzo early on in the season. They do a lot of one-on-one drills towards the end of practice, and that builds the character of this team. You've seen it time and time again this year that when these guys go in these one-on-one with these edge rushers and these D tackles, they're consistently winning their matchups.
And how important is the defensive side? You talked about Coach Palazzo. We'll talk more about him in a minute.
Those performances early, Gettysburg, they let up a couple of blown coverages. I think they need to really get their communication working in the secondary. Got to get on the same page. A lot of new faces in that secondary. We talk about Mike Ramos being on and guys like Brendan Ray not being there anymore. Like, these are guys experienced secondary, but they're starting to find their own as the season comes along. I think this is a game, homecoming, NJAC opener. This is a game where you could come in and show.
Talking before about the new Agent Zero, Nick Burgess. What do you think about him and his play so far this year?
Oh, I got a chance to in his high school class. He's a guy that I think really is the leader of this defense and really sets the tone. He can rush off the edge, rush the quarterback. He can play in coverage. He can stop the run. I pretty much called him a Micah Parsons type, if that makes sense. I mean, he could do literally everything at the middle linebacker. And Coach Palazzo had nothing but nice things to say about Nick, saying like he's one of the premier leaders of this defense, and we love to have him.
And I'm glad you brought up Coach Palazzo. This is his first year after Coach Giancola was here for 40-plus years. What have you liked so far from Coach Palazzo taking over for this team?
Yeah, I really like Coach Palazzo. I think he's set a new leadership tone within this locker room. I think he's a fired-up guy. I've seen some of his pregame speeches. I've seen the way he prepares, how he goes into it. I talked about the one-on-ones at practice. This is a guy that is no nonsense. He is willing to do whatever it takes to win for this program, and you've seen it so far. He's very personal, a great guy. Everyone in the locker room really rallies around him, and I think it's something that these players really look to him to be that voice to propel them into the future.
Well, thank you, and I hope you guys up there have a great game. And now we're going to talk just a little bit, me and you, Connor.
Thank you, Matt.
What are you thinking so far as we get closer and closer to kickoff?
I'm excited, man. This is my fourth homecoming here at this school, and we're going to see a great game. You have a team who has found their stride somewhat offensively this year, and the defense still dominant as ever. And TCNJ, not a slouch of an opponent, but a possible, you could see a great day from Johnny Mendez. 8 yards a carry is a ridiculous number. And then once you see how this offense can open up, I'm really excited to see how this team can play.
Yeah, you mentioned it being a ridiculous number, but this crowd is really starting to pile in. We got a lot of people here today. And you mentioned this is our fourth homecoming, but we didn't really have one our freshman year with COVID. We've been able to enjoy it from here, and we have one of the best views today. But homecoming is such a great day for everyone. What does it mean to you?
Certainly means to me that this is what being a Red Hawk is all about. I don't see this many people any other day of the school year. Quite literally, like, this is the most people I've seen every single time, and crowd's just growing in, filtering in, and you're going to see how the crowd can really pack. And this is what Red Hawk pride looks like.
Yeah, and it's so great to see so many familiar faces. Cafone talked about it before. Campbell Donovan's in the house, RHSN broadcast intern, legend. And the Red Hawk Sports Network, you can really see it just has been growing and growing every single year. And to think about this entire camera shoot, 10 cameras we have going today. If you thought about this 3 years ago, you wouldn't think that this was possible.
And the amount of people that go into this production too, and how many different roles there are. We've seen that rundown. We know there's roles all over the place, and everyone doing their little part makes this whole production possible. We could not do it without everybody.
Yeah, none of this would be possible without any of us. And we're going to go up to the three guys that you'll be hearing from this entire game. Anthony Cofone, Ryan White, Brandon Marazzo. Up to you guys at the booth.
Matt, thank you so much. Great pregame, guys. Did a really good job. Anthony Cofone alongside Brandon Marazzo and Ryan White here in the booth getting ready to go. Football action, Montclair State versus TCNJ. The 90th meeting between these two schools. First matchup went all the way back in 1929. And they are ready to go here again.
Yeah, and the only two things that stop these teams from playing each other is a global pandemic and a world war.
Yeah, that just goes to show you how the rivalry runs deep between the boys from Ewing here and the boys from Montclair. Ryan, this is a really talented TCNJ team coming into this game 1-2, but they have a really high-flying offense that passes a lot. And Trevor Bopp, a quarterback who leads the NJAC in passing yards, completions, he's a guy that they're really going to need to get going early.
He's been playing very solid so far throughout this season. I think that if he can keep the turnovers down in this game, TCNJ would have a very strong chance in limiting the turnovers and being able to put together long drives, and controlling the clock is going to be key for them. He has 6 interceptions in just 3 games. So I just think being minimal with the mistakes is a big thing for him.
Yeah, and he's a guy that, like you said, 6 interceptions, but also leads the NJAC. Got to limit those turnovers against a high-flying Montclair State defense. 2 picks from Jalil Terrell already this season, both in the game against Franklin and Marshall. But they go get after the quarterback, right, Maz, with Dimitri Pali and Dorian Gashi.
Yeah, and more importantly with that, too, not only do they get after the quarterback, the other side protects the quarterback. This is a team that knows how to get it done on both sides. They just got to put together the complete game. But the defensive side, for sure, Pali in the front 3, Gashi coming out the linebackers, of course, there's talent all over this place. And even if they can't get to the quarterback, you got guys like JT Island in the back. Good luck trying to stop them.
Yeah, for the Redhawks this season, we mentioned a little bit in the pregame, the running game, so crucial. Abijani Mendez, Henry Lewis, the dual-headed backfield, as well as Makai Mickens. This is a team that loves to run the football, and if they can get those 5 to 6 yards on the ground, it really pays dividends as the game goes along.
Yeah, for Montclair State, running the football is key in this game for them, and having a dual-threat quarterback with Sanborn is a huge factor in that as well. It gives the defense other things to worry about, and when you're that dynamic with different things and able to have so many different runners, that makes things very tough on a defense.
And the Redhawks getting ready to take the field. All black unis for the first time today. You see it, the wings on the sleeves. It's a pretty clean look, Mass.
It is absolutely a clean look. You guys know black's my favorite color because it goes with everything. But when you just get onto the gridiron, it just adds another level of terror. Just something about the black uni. It's like, wow, these guys mean business to break out that kind of a uni. I mean, Ryan, you're a fan of a team at the pro level that wears that black uni. What do you think about that?
It's just a tough look, right? Not too many teams rock the all black, and when you are in an all black uniform, it just makes you look more physical in a way, and just more like you're assuring yourself that you're on the field.
Imposing.
You're imposing your will.
And I'm a fan of a team that doesn't like the team that Ryan likes, so we'll have to disagree on that one. But Montclair State, TCNJ, these are two teams that, like I said, very historic matchup. Maz, I'm going to go to you first. What's the key right now for Montclair State to get this win?
Well, first off, just pound the ball first and foremost. We've talked about the 3-headed monster of Abijani Mendez of Hamilton. I'm telling you right now, you just got to keep on going towards that. They've been doing a great job of protecting Sanborn all year. Get this kid some more time as you've been doing. Let him air it out, because I promise you, Clarence Wilkins is going to get open. So give your quarterback some time, establish that run. Those are the 2 biggest offensive keys for me.
And this is the second home game here for Mike Palazzo in his first year as the head coach of the Redhawks program. Didn't get the win the first time, and it was a close game, an overtime game, high intensity. But Ryan, it just feels like the attitude today at homecoming is just a little bit different for this squad.
There's a new energy, and that's with any time there's a new head coach in his first season. But for a homecoming game, you see how many people are here ready to support this football team and see what Coach Palazzo can do with this new team.
Well, fellas, it's a historic matchup. I mean, this is the 90th time that these teams are meeting. As we said, if you look at the first matchup, you got to go all the way back to the 1920s. This rivalry runs deep. This is not just an NJAC game. This is the longest facing opponent for Montclair State football.
And the Redhawks take the field. It should be an exciting one. 4 quarters of high-pressure, high-stakes football. First NJAC matchup of the year. Conference games are so different than when you talk about non-conference games. This is a more high-energy atmosphere, and to be able to win a game like this to start your NJAC season, it could also prove to be a real tone setter as the year goes along.
It really is everything. Both teams are coming into this game at 1-2, and with their first conference game of the season, it's kind of like a restart for them, because conference games are more important, because if you can win the conference games, you're going to get yourself into the conference tournament. So right here is just a massive game for both sides.
Yeah, Ryan, I think you said it best. It does not matter with the record, and of course you're trying to win games whenever, but it's NJAC time. I mean, these are the points that matter, those power points that get you through that tournament and then potentially on to the next level. So these are the crucial games. It does not matter.
And the starting lineups now here on your screen are coming in a moment. For Montclair State and the offense, it'll be Sanborn at quarterback, Mendez in the backfield. We got Clarence Wilkins at wide receiver, as well as Bryant, Brimage, and Halloran. Offensive line left to right gets Smith, Ray, Armstrong, Manganella, and Samilla. That's a formidable offense, Maz, if I say so myself. This team has had some games where they put up numbers. Talk about 31 points against Gettysburg. And now we go to the Montclair State defense. Here on the D-line, you got Dimitri Pali, Delashian, and Adrabrayo. You have Wilmore, Burgess, Gashi, and Cologne at the linebackers, left to right. And then in the backfield, you got Vasali, Sutton, and Buckwald. Buckwald emerged really as a safety this year. And, of course, JT Island and Jalil Terrell at the cornerback position.
It's a dangerous defense for sure. And as I said, good luck keeping Polly and the boys up front out. But even if you get it past them, there's two quality cornerbacks and some safeties waiting for you.
And with JT Island, he's such a gambler and a big play type of guy. And if Trevor Bott is not paying close attention to where he is on the field, it could get very scary, and he can jump some routes and take something the other way.
Well, we saw Franklin Marshall try to test him last time, and even though he gave up a big play, he bounces back and he ends up with an interception. I mean, try this, kid. I wish you would.
We got Ray Primus, as well as Polly and Cowan at midfield, the captains today for Montclair State, as the opening coin toss between the Redhawks and the Lions to see who gets the ball first. It should be an interesting game. I've seen some alumni today around the campus. Me and Maz were in the elevator with some guys who played basketball in 1984. It's been a whole range of people who have come here and come out back to Red Hawk country to see these Montclair State Redhawks play.
Well, there's just something about it, you know what I'm saying? Even last year, taking it back, we had the family of Sam Mills here. I mean, this is a special place. People love coming back here. I mean, look at the bleachers right now. It is completely packed if you could get the shot out to it. But here we are, and just ready for kickoff.
And we have the national anthem coming up here, and I think we'll step aside here for the national anthem, and we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask everyone, please rise for parade.
As I'm Ryan White here, bringing you the action at Red Hawk Sports Network's homecoming multicam broadcast. Such an exciting time. There's been a lot of work that went into this day, and it should be a real exciting day for these two teams.
Definitely an even matchup in my book. Anyone can take it here. Fellas, give me some predictions. I think I'm rocking with the Red Hawks in this one, though. I think we're going to see a score probably around 36-30.
This is a game between two teams that usually play each other very closely. Sometimes it's lower scoring, and I think could be a defensive battle. I think we're going to see a lot of battle for field position and things like that. So I think a little bit of a lower scoring game, maybe 20-17.
So it'll be kicking off for TCNJ. It'll be Bobby Wortman as Montclair State elected to receive off the kickoff. Dan Ramos and Abijani Mendez back to receive. And the kick from Wortman will go to Ramos right around the 12-yard line. Ramos trying to cut back to the sideline, has some space. It gets stuck right around the 30-yard line. Still on his feet churning and gets out to the 34.
Just those extra little yards that's going to make the difference in this one. And we never really talk about special teams, but hey, we've seen it make a difference here. The last time these teams faced, it was special teams that actually sealed the deal. TCNJ kicked that game-winning field goal.
Yeah, Montclair State actually has 2 special teams player of the week this year. Keyshawn Dixon in week 2 had a punt return, or actually had a blocked punt that was in for a touchdown. And Michael Fitzpatrick, who was a punter last week in the game against Union, pinned 2 punts inside the 20. So special teams has played a big factor in the Redhawks in this early part of the season. So Sanborn taking the field for the first time. 2 wideouts to the right side. Montclair State not running many tight ends in this offense, as he'll take the snap, look right, and throws a dump pass off to the right side. It was caught by number 6. That was, I believe that was number 6, Zach Lewis.
And right there, that's a great first play for this Montclair State offense. Against Franklin and Marshall, it seemed like they tried to air it out and force it down the field too much. I think just get some easy, quick game, short work, get Sanborn in a rhythm, and that's the key, and get him going.
Got to build up that confidence, man. It starts with those easy, quick throws.
Lewis already, that's his 15th reception on the year, which leads the entire Montclair State team. Sanborn again, dumping off to Lewis in the flat, and he is stuck. Big hit. Oh, man. Jacob Maurice jarring it loose. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, Maurice there giving up the catch, but making up for it by knocking it loose. So really not giving up the catch there. And those are the kind of plays that you gotta set the tone early. You know, we're seeing this game getting taken away in terms of the violence that we see in it, but that's a clean hit right there, and that's a game-winning play.
And right there, it looked like it was Zach Lewis running just about the same kind of concept, that out route towards the sideline, and he was all over that, ready to blow him up.
You're seeing early Montclair State trying to elect the easy short passes in the flat, try to get Zach Lewis out in some space. As trips left here on 3rd down for Sanborn. Mendez to the right side. Dropping back, Sanborn looking at these drags over the middle. He's going to fire downfield. It's caught. 1st down. It's Lewis again. 3rd time targeted in a row. And he gets Montclair State a 1st down, their first of the game.
I like what I've seen from Sanborn on that play. You see him reading the defense, picking who he's going to go to, and finding Lewis over the middle. That's a good strike.
You saw that zone defense implemented there by TCNJ. There's going to be holes. If you can find that hole, the receiver gets that open space, it's going to be a lot of room to work with.
Pickup of 12 yards. The 2nd completion of the game for Sanborn. Haven't gotten the run once yet. And also a jump there up by the right tackle. That looked like number 61 for Montclair State. It was Jack Freed jumping off sides.
And you talked about it in your keys to the game with the penalties. Montclair just has to be better at tightening things up. It's something that they've had trouble with. And this TCNJ team, their coach is known not to give it up. Ryan, talk to us about that, man.
He is top 11 in 3 major statistical categories when it comes to penalties, and his team does not shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to play their way and not hurt themselves.
That's the big disparity between Montclair State and the Lions. As Sanborn dropping back here on 1st down, dumps off in the flat to be Lewis again. Lewis takes another hit from Maurice, but he's got 5 yards. Back to the sticks.
They like that route concept early to Lewis. It's working, but he's taken 2 huge shots already.
Well, you got to watch out with that. It's definitely going to wear down the player, but as long as it's there, you know Montclair's going to keep on going to it. No need to get a little too fancy with it. Keep on going till they can stop it.
Lewis already in this game with 3 catches for 20 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 10 again from TCNJ's 48. Sanborn takes the snap. Lewis in the backfield, rolling out to his right side, trying to go across the body. He has a completion. And down the sideline, number 82 still going. Anthony Roger down to the 1. He's in. Anthony Roger from 48 yards, and Montclair State is on the board.
And just like that, I believe Roger becomes the top leading receiver on this team. And just get on the scoreboard there with another touchdown. Those are the plays that you need. You cannot arm tackle that young fella. He's going to make you play. Takes you down to the 1, and then the extra effort in the end zone, Ryan.
What a play from Roger. That gets him his second touchdown this season, and with the 48-yard catch, that beats his 43-yard long of the season as well. What an effort and what a way to start for the Red Hawks.
Sanborn efficient in that first drive, 4 of 5. Didn't run the ball once that entire first drive as the extra point is good from Manuel Faxas.
He didn't run it, Anthony, but we saw him use his legs and run outside that pocket and extend the play to find Roger crossing across the field.
And notice on that drive, we saw a lot of passing, but we did not see them test the Week 3 Defensive Player of the Week in Cole Groshell. They're beating them with that short game, and when you can get those yaks, those yards after contact, I mean, that's what you do.
A huge 48-yard touchdown pass from Sanborn to Roger, and Montclair State strikes first, not even 3 minutes into this one. And that's how you really set the tone. I mean, we thought they were going to run the ball early. 5 passes in that first drive.
Coach Palazzo showing a lot of faith in his new quarterback, and he just got it done right there, looking very nice. I like the way they started out the game.
Well, I'll tell you right now, that's what you got to do. You got to make the game easier for him. And Ryan, you see he rolls out, he throws it right about a little bit across the chest. You're setting it up, you're making it easy. Maybe if the Jets did this, Zach Wilson would have some success.
So it'll be Greg Casimir to kick this one off. As the kickoff will find its way into the hands of Kyle Vellis. Vellis cuts back right, trying to find some space. Vellis out to the 35-yard line. A good return for the Lions and some good field position starting out for TCNJ.
That's what it's all about for sure. As you see on this replay for that touchdown, I mean, it was that quick, easy strike. Arm tackling isn't going to get it done. The extra effort puts you into the end zone. All right, and that's what it's all about. TCNJ starting with some nice prime field positioning, though. With special teams getting it done. This is how you set up the confidence for a team.
Roger getting it done. You saw that extra effort at the goal line to stretch it across. And TCNJ now has to respond as Bop getting his first action as he sends Jasinski in motion. Play action, throws out in the flat. It'll be Jasinski again. And he's dropped for a pickup of 2 on the tackle there for Montclair State. It was Amari Wilmore.
Amari Wilmore, that was just a great one-on-one open field tackle.
And I'll tell you, Amari Wilmore is a guy that we didn't talk about, but he can get it done too. I believe he's second in the team in tackles this season.
So Bob, 2 receivers to the right side. Play action fakes and throw out, and a wide open underneath cross. Pickup of about 10 yards and a first down. There's number 9 on the catch there for TCNJ. That was Jake McCown.
Right there, it looked like 2 Montclair State DBs kind of had a miscommunication and both followed one of the receivers, giving him a wide open slant.
So Bob already 2 of 2 as he play action fakes again. Pressure coming from Montclair State, throws to the sticks, and another completed pass, this one again to Jasinski.
He's found in the safety blanket early, and we've heard Coach Potts talk about it in that pregame. You see they're going to the no-huddle offense right now that keeps the defense on there. It's hard to change your personnel, you really can't, and it gets the defense out of breath early.
And sort of a run-and-gun offense you've been seeing from TCNJ, going right to the line, no huddle. Bob takes the snap and a run here up the middle, and a first down taken by number 6, Al-Shakir Drake.
And TCNJ is keeping that hurry up going. They're not trying to give Montclair State any time to adjust or rest, even make substitutions. They're jumping on Montclair State on this first drive.
Yeah, Drake only 12 carries this year for 38 yards, getting one here early going. And not a team that runs the ball a lot is the Lions, as Bob taking the snap, getting pressure up the front, throws it across his body, and he gets a completion.
What a catch, and maybe an even better throw. I mean, Bob, with the big fellow right in his face, no problem. Throws that as he's going to the ground. And the receiver with a little contact, no problem, big gain.
That was McCown again, his second catch of this drive. And once again, TCNJ going right on the ball. Bob with Drake in the backfield. And he hands it off to Drake, trying to bounce it outside, gets a block, and he's going to be driven for no gain. It was Nick Burgess on the tackle.
Yeah, Burgess identified quickly that he broke away from the pile. He seeks him out like a heat-seeking missile, takes him down.
And Nick Burgess, the NJAC Defensive Player of the Week a few weeks ago in his performance against Gettysburg, really showed out in that game with a couple of sacks and a forced fumble. So 2 stacked receivers to both sides. A weird formation here from TCNJ. Montclair State showing blitz off that left side with Polly. Bob changing at the line of scrimmage. Takes a snap, looking left. He's going to fire over the middle. He has McCown again, but it looked like it might have been dropped. But they're going to say it's a catch. There's a little bit of bobble in there.
Good enough to get the catch, though. And you look at the audible at the line there for Bob. I fully believe that they were running that one. He makes that adjustment. He recognizes the man coverage, and he goes to that quick slant route. He's just making easy throws right now.
Right now, already 5 for 5 in this one. He's just getting them right down the field. 5 for 5 for 34 yards. Trips left now. A single receiver with Terrell covering. Bob, a DB blitz here. Montclair's coming after him. He's able to avoid the pressure from Gashi. Rolling out right. Bob's going to take it himself, and he's got 5 yards.
That's definitely a play Gashi's going to want to have back. He had Bob one-on-one in the backfield, and if he would have gotten that sack, that would have been huge for the Redhawks to get their first negative play on this drive.
We have a player down right now. He'll be hopping off, quickly replaced. I don't want to see anybody go down, but I love the decision to go with the blitz there from the outsides. Bring that pressure on Bob. You need to make him uncomfortable, but what a way to high step and get out of that bad situation and pick up some yards.
You saw Wilmore covering the slot wide receiver, and then he came down the blitz. Bob, again here on second down. Facing pressure, throwing in the middle. Is it intercepted? No, it was dropped. Sherrod Cooper got his hand in there and forced the incompletion.
That time I think Bob was remembering that blitz, feeling the pressure a little bit. He forced that one in there, and Sherrod Cooper almost coming away with it. Could have been a huge turnover in favor of the Redhawks.
So it'll be 3rd and 7 now. TCNJ on their first red zone trip. So far this season in the red zone, as Bob throws over the middle, incomplete. Sherrod Cooper again was intended for Jasinski. And let's see what TCNJ here goes here. I think they're going to go with the field goal here.
Back-to-back pass breakups by Cooper, and just right there is, you don't want to throw it in that kind of coverage. It looks like Bob is starting to get a little rattled in these last 2 plays. He needs to settle back down and go back to how he was playing the first few plays of the game.
Yeah, TCNJ 8 for 10 in the red zone this season with 3 field goals. They've been generally very good in this area of the field, so Montclair State able to force a field goal attempt off the boot of Bobby Wortman. Kick is up, it's blocked! It's on the ground, Montclair State has the football! Coming down midfield! And all the way to the house, Jaden Brimage will score!
Special teams, baby. That's what it's about. Everybody forgets about it. I'm talking at all levels. You remember those Chargers back with Phillip Rivers, #1 offense, #1 defense, but the special teams was lacking. And here you see Montclair. The special teams are soaring high, and they just soared right into the end zone, baby.
You hit it right on the button, Maz. Those are the type of plays that win you football games, when you can just change the complete script. Right there, TCNJ thinks they're going to make this a 7-3 ball game, and it goes the other way, making it 13-0 as we wait for this extra point.
Montclair State 2nd in the NJAC this season in red zone defense. They come up huge with a huge block field goal, and they go up 2 scores as we await the extra point from Greg Casimir.
You see Montclair firing on all cylinders right now, fellas.
As the extra point from Casimir is good. 14-0. Montclair State, 8:51 to go in the first quarter. Some big plays. Roger, a big 48-yard receiving touchdown, and then a block field goal all the way for Jaden Brimage, who was able to go all the way to the house.
You almost couldn't ask for a better start if you're Montclair State. First drive, go down the field, quick touchdown. And on defense, you block the field goal and then return it to the other way. Just an amazing start for these Redhawks, and with all these fans here, it's an electric atmosphere right now.
And Montclair State has dropped the last 2 homecoming games. So you want to know that this senior team, these juniors who haven't really seen a homecoming win in a long time, they want to come out and they want to show out.
And fellas, I'll tell you right now, head coach Casey Goff also is the head coach, but doubles as the special teams coordinator. That's the kind of play that makes you want to break the clipboard.
So Casimir will kick off again, and back to receive will be Jason Schmidt as well as Kyle Vellis.
And
kick here from Casimir. End up finding, it'll be number 0, Amir Vick taking this one. Vick trying to find a lane, and he is brought down just across the 20. He was tripped up there by number 18, Umar Davis.
And right now, fellas, I'll tell you, we see this blocked field goal going all the way back to the house. It starts with the block. They don't look back, and there's not a line in sight for yards. Boom, touchdown, and just like that, it's the fast of the game you can never forget about.
Jaden Brimage doesn't really do much in the receiving game because a younger guy, and being able to make your mark as a special teamer is always huge into getting more playing time as the season goes along. So it'll be Bop again. We'll do a quarterback draw up the middle, has some space off of the right side. He's able to find a lane, and he'll pick up about 8 yards, brought down by Dimitri Pali.
It's a good design run for TCNJ. They didn't run it on their first drive. It catches the Redhawks on their heels, and just a good concept for them.
When you're going to the pass so often, you tend to expect it, but I actually like the switch up there from the offensive coordinator. Got to get something working.
So Bop will give it up the middle, and a run play here for number 2, Jason Schmidt. And he bounces, and he has enough for a first down pickup of 3. And now you're seeing TCNJ start to run the ball. You've seen Schmidt get a few carries in the early goings, as well as Drake, as you try to see if they can open up those running lanes. You saw a big gash in the middle from Bop. Bop play action fake again, able to get the read over the middle, nearly intercepted. It was Jalil Terrell in there, got his hand, and almost was able to come down with the pick.
Yeah, that was a fantastic job again by the secondary, because the front men got a little confused on that play action there as they gobbled up the run, but Bop holds on to it, and I believe we're going to have a flag right now. See what happens. But a nice job by the secondary, fellas, to recognize that, hang in there, and almost coming away with what should be their 3rd pick of the game. They just got those butterfingers right now.
So it looks like they're going to call pass interference against the defense. It'll be 15 yards and a first down. I don't really know if I saw much contact there. Maybe a little bit too early. So it'll be 1st and 10 for TCNJ from the 49. Nice play action fake here from Bop over the middle. He finds his big tight end. That's Thomas Burke, who is the reigning NJAC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he really is one of the better players and more dangerous players on this TCNJ team. He's coming off a D3 football all-region selection from last season, and he is a huge and physical tight end who is very difficult to guard.
They didn't target him once in that whole first drive, so now you see him. He can line up in the slot. A big burling guy who also blocked. He's definitely very versatile in this offense. Has a little bit of movement before the snap, a false start against the Lions, and they'll be pushed back 5 yards.
Yeah, just going back to Burke real quick. 6'5" and 250 pounds. Fellas, I'm going to be honest with you. The 3 of us couldn't bring him down together.
Yeah, no shot.
It's almost Travis Kelce like that. So where's the 87 as well?
And he's a matchup nightmare. Do you want to put a linebacker on him? Because most linebackers are too slow. Safeties and other DBs are they're going to have a size difference.
Bob has pressure, 6-man rush, throws it over the middle. It's intercepted off the hands of number 2, Jason Schmidt, and back the other way is Nick Burgess. To the 10, to the 5, and Burgess will score. Another defensive score for Montclair State within 2 minutes, and Burgess going all the way 49 yards.
Every single game, Burgess is going to affect it in some significant way, and right there, reads the quarterback, sees it's a screen. Unfortunately for the TCNJ was tipped up, but Burgess is right there to corral it and take it to the house.
And I don't know that decision from Bob. He tried to find Schmidt, and Schmidt was kind of occupied with 2 defenders, and Burgess, if you remember last year's homecoming game, he took a pick 6 all the way back against Christopher Newport. So 2 straight years on homecoming, you've seen Nick Burgess go down the field as the extra point is good from Casimir. 21-0 Redhawks, and we're not even 8 minutes in.
Well, you know what they say, there's just something in the atmosphere. There's something about these games. You look at the line right now down the sideline. They're getting hyped. They already know what it is. And these are the plays that win you games. It's a new guard here at Montclair State. The culture, as we know, Coach G was here building that foundation, but now it's Mike Palazzo taking it into the year of 2023, and just a fantastic job. As you see, all cylinders firing right now. Players playing for each other.
I was looking at Sambor on the sideline. He just got his hands up. He goes, I don't need to do anything. I just let my team just do it for me.
And as a quarterback, that's got to be the greatest feeling. It takes the pressure off of you. You know your team is firing on all cylinders, and that gives you even more confidence.
This is the best quarter of Montclair State football I think we've seen all season.
Definitely the most dominant.
So Casimir will kick off once again. It'll be Vic and Schmidt again. Back to receive. Casimir's kick goes high. It'll be fielded by Schmidt in the back. Schmidt trying to take it back outside, has some room, is met by a couple of players up there. Number 13, Adonis May was there on the tackle.
They tried bouncing it outside, but to no avail. And look at this interception as Burgess comes away with the tip drill, and he takes it. Doesn't look back. The big fella almost catching up, but he says, no thank you. There's a stiff arm right at the end. That was a great effort there to try to bring him down, but once Burgess is knocking on that line, I mean, good luck with it. He's a man possessed.
3 touchdowns for this Red Hawk team already, and it's been a statement. First NJAC game, you want to come out firing on all cylinders, and Coach Palazzo's got this team rolling. It'll be Bop again. Play action fake, has pressure in his face, got to throw it away, and he might have still been in the tackle box. I think he might have been out there. Pressure off that left side, I think it was Polly in there to force the incompletion.
Yeah, probably my least favorite facet of the game. No receiver over there, even if he's out of the pocket. I mean, you got to try to make a play, in my opinion. But hey, that's very much within the rules, and he knows that he can't take the sack there. So a heads-up play by him. I just wish we had some different rules at times.
So 2nd and 10 now for Bob. 4-man front for Montclair State. Bob, little design rollout to the left. He's going to fire and complete it. Off to the right side for Dill. And Dill close to the marker, run back, pick up about 6.
Dill with a nice route right there on the curl, gets some separation and crowds it in for a few more yards.
Great job by the DB to come flying in there, giving up a lot of height and a lot of weight, but no problem. You heard that hit all the way up in the booth.
Dill's only 4th catch of the year through 3 games, averages about 13 yards per catch. As a huge substitution change for TCNJ as they bring back in Burke. 4-man front, Bop has some pressure in his face, gonna throw it off complete in the flat here with number 2, Jason Schmidt, and the running back able to pick up the first down, gets it close to midfield.
And Jason Schmidt for TCNJ is electric in open space. He's someone who they want to get screen passes to and stuff like they just ran right there, and he's very hard to bring down.
And fellas, coming into this game, TCNJ actually struggling a bit in 3rd down situations, only completing around just under 29% coming into this one. And it's plays like that that's going to keep the chains moving. So they're going to be looking to make those simple plays.
So a full house here for Bob as he actually fakes, has a little option route, and he's going to toss it off to the left side for Jasinski. And Jasinski able to run it for a pickup of about 11 yards. And then it'll be 2nd and short.
We've seen the Lions kind of use a bunch of different schemes and different styles of offense. You see the option right there. We've seen them take some shots. I like what their OC's doing right now. They're keeping it even and keeping the Redhawks honest.
Well, when you're down 21-0, you got to go to the bag of tricks. And why not go early? Otherwise, this one could get even uglier.
They gave him the first down on that because he had the spot. So Bob will take the snap again and head it up the middle. And Schmidt picks up about 3 yards.
Some hard running there. But as we said, this is what you got to do. You got to get creative, but you got to still be able to go back to the basics. 3 yards every time. Any OC will take that.
Bukta was there on the stop for the Red Hawks. As they try to go to the running game here these last few attempts. Pressure here from Montclair State. Bob going to throw it to the sticks. Incomplete. Was looking for Jasinski. They wanted to flag, a little bit of early contact. But good breakup there by number 20, Jalil Terrell.
I like the no call there. He was playing the ball. He was maybe slightly early, but if you're playing the ball and keeping your eyes where they need to be, the ref keeps that one in his pocket.
Well, this is what happens when you start off with a physical game. You make the refs call just a little bit more physical, but that time, to my eyes, Terrell times that up perfectly.
So it'll be 3rd and 7 now. Montclair State defense on 3rd down this year has been pretty impressive for the most part. As Bob taking the snap, pressure in his face, gonna throw it off the right side, and incomplete. That ball's out of bounds. Was looking for Jasinski. But again, Montclair State pressure on 3rd down has really been getting to affect Bob on those throws.
They're getting to him quick, and if this O-line doesn't give him enough time, it's going to be a long night for Bob.
Well, fellas, if I had the 5th year Dimitri Polly in my face, I think it's one, going to be a long night, and 2, I'd be throwing that ball as far away as possible.
So it'll be 4th and 8, and this part of the field, they're going to go for it. No punting unit out in the field. Montclair State's defense has come up huge. Bob, gonna face pressure, gonna throw it up into the flat, complete to Schmidt. Schmidt trying to make a man miss, and he won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Brought down in the backfield by Alex Buckwald.
Great job by the defense there, not being overly aggressive. They knew that some trickery was coming, fellas.
Do you agree with the call to not punt there on 4th down in that area of the field?
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I love it. You're down 21-0. You got to get something going. I wish it was a little more creative than that, but why not? But, you know, as we said, you got to go just a little bit deeper into the bag of tricks. What do you think, Ryan?
I like the idea. I think being aggressive down 21-0 is the move, but also giving Montclair State a bad field position could have helped them as well and made things tougher.
So this is the first time we've seen Andrew Sanborn in 8 minutes of game time. Had 2 touchdowns since that time. Sanborn dropping back. He's going to dump it off in the flat, complete to Roger again. Roger has some space. Flag flies. Pick up about 8, but I think this one's coming back.
Yeah, they're going to call that roughing the passer every time. The ball very much out. And how about the sophomore? Looks to the right, doesn't see what he likes, goes to the check down right to the left, fires it in there, picks up some yards, and picks up the foul.
So the roughing the passer call, my apologies, I thought that was going to be a hold, but an extra 15 yards added to the end of that play, and Montclair State in one play gaining about 23 yards.
Seems like everything so far is going Montclair State's way, and the scoreboard is showing it.
So they're going to spot this ball at around the 37-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks as they have 2 wide receivers split out to both sides. It'll be Abijani Mendez in the game by running back. 4-3 look here for TCNJ as Sanborn rolling out to his right. He's going to find Roger over the middle. Roger trying to break the tackle, but brought down over the middle by number 30. And that was Tyler Rummel.
Roger making an impact early on. As we said, he came into this game among the top receivers, I believe 2nd, and now firmly cementing his spot. I know Clarence Wilkins is going to be looking to compete because that's what this team does, whether it's in practice, on the field, in game. They're always looking to compete and get the edge. It's just that environment that Palazzo is building.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 34-yard line. Haven't seen Clarence Wilkins' name heard yet once today. As they're going to run it up the middle with Mendez. Mendez cuts it back right, and I think he'll just get about a yard. It'll be 3rd down. First time running it all day today for the Red Hawks. We're 3 minutes left in the 1st quarter.
When you get a blocked field goal, a pick 6, and a quick score on the 1st drive, no running needed, but as the game flow starts to come, they will implement the run game into it.
You see Brennan Ray making his way into the stands, the 5-time All-NJAC selection. Good to see him now here at homecoming. So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Red Hawks. Sanborn with Lewis in the backfield. Drops back, looking right. He's going to fire to his 2nd option. That's Roger. And Roger has enough for the 1st down. Pick up 10.
Right back to Roger again. Roger and Lewis so far in this 1st quarter are doing a lot of damage to this TCNJ defense.
Zach Lewis, Anthony Roger. You can tell which receivers that Sanborn really is comfortable throwing with. He likes that slot option. So 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. The Red Hawks have been moving again on this drive. Riley Nelson here on the near side of your screen. Sanborn is going to give it off to Lewis. Lewis trying to find some space off to that left side. He'll lose about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
It's just great pressure coming from the Lions, bouncing back after giving up some big yardage. And now a tackle for loss as they'll move them back a yard. But great recognitions. It started with the big fella up front, pushing the offensive lineman deep into the backfield. And then you see the outside linebacker coming in to play cleanup.
So 2nd and 11 now for this offense. Sanborn been efficient today through the air. Already 6 of 7, 79 yards and a touchdown. Sanborn throws out in the flat again. Roger, what a cut! Is able to pick up about 6 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5, but able to make a nice juke move.
We mentioned it earlier in the pregame about efficiency is the key for Sanborn in the quick game, and so far that's exactly what they're doing. These 5-yard out routes or these play action rollers over the middle, they're keeping things very easy and making him very comfortable.
And fellas, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but the confidence of this Montclair team, because I'm pretty sure TCNJ leads the NJAC in interceptions thus far this season, and they're throwing all over them right now.
So 3rd and 7 for the Redhawks. Trips wide right. Mendez now in the game at running back. Sanborn looking left. He's going to fire and over the head of Wilkins. He had him wide open, just missed the throw.
That was a tough throw to place in. He had the corner under and the safety over the top, but he had Wilkins there, and just Sanborn would like that one back.
This might be a little bit out of field goal range for Casimir. So it'll be 4th and 6, and the offense will stay out on the field. 3 wideouts to the right side. Out wide on the right side, it'll be Bryant. As Sanborn fakes the throw off the left side, fires on the run, able to complete it, flips him over with Zach Lewis. And Lewis, I don't think, had enough for the first down. He'll pick up about 4. It'll be turnover on downs. TCNJ able to get the stop.
And you saw Clarence Wilkins on that backside running that drag route across. Was wide open, but because of the design play, you see Sanborn roll out to the right, always looking right, doesn't get a chance to peek back there. It's a missed opportunity, but that's just a play design. You can't really help that.
It's a missed opportunity for Montclair State, but on the other side, TCNJ needed a stop more than anything. They keep this game within 3 scores and get a much-needed defensive stop.
So back out on the field will be Bob, and a bunch set on the right side, 3 wideouts. And Drake back in at running back. Montclair State loading the line, Burgess as well as Polly, but Burgess will back up. Bob will take the snap. Montclair State showing blitz, throws off to the left side and complete to Dzinski. And Dzinski will have about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. You saw the stunt at the line of scrimmage. They put Burgess up, they put Gashi up, and then they were pulling back and showing different sets and really trying to confuse Bob at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, Bob's already made one read that went his way before, so they're trying to just give him different looks, trying to make him think a little bit. They were showing man in the defensive coverage, but it ended up being a zone. That's great disguise from the defense.
So Bob here on 2nd down, pressure off to the right side, has to fire downfield, and he completes it to number 3, Ryan Gill, and the biggest reception of the day for TCNJ. Goes for about 20 yards on 1st down.
Great job by receiver Ryan Gill to high point the football and really come down with that one at the top, at the catch point.
Clock will stop. That'll be the end of the 1st quarter. Montclair State 21, TCNJ 0. High octane from the Redhawks early. A blocked field goal return for touchdown, a pick 6, and a big 48-yard receiving touchdown for Anthony Roger. They have come to this homecoming game with an energy and a fire, and they've really laid it down in this 1st quarter.
Fellas, I can't believe that was only the 1st quarter. At 21-0, Montclair State getting it done all over the place. That's how you protect home field. That's how you come out on homecoming. I don't know if I've ever seen this team flying this high.
Montclair State is looking like a team that wants this NJAC win. They know how important it is. They know how amazing this atmosphere is, and they're really trying to put on for a great night at Montclair State.
I mean, just look at the crowd right now. The home stands. There's not an open seat out there right now. Everybody coming back, alumni, students coming out, former broadcast interns coming out. I mean, just all over the place. That's just the community that's being built here. That is Montclair State University.
And the defense now back out on the field. And even though they've been gashed for a couple of big gains, they've stood tall. I mean, you talk about the pick 6, you talk about the blocked field goal. They've come away with the stops when they needed to.
That's just what it comes down to, though. You got to come up with those stops. I mean, yeah, you're down 21-0. You got 2 options. You can sit there and feel sad for yourself, or you can keep on playing because there's a lot of time left. We're only in quarter number 2.
So Bob back out on the field. 3 wideouts set. As tight end out on the right side and give it off to Drake up the middle. And Drake really has nowhere to go, is bottled up for a pickup of 1. It was Gashi again on the tackle.
Gashi always making a presence known. He's got a couple. I feel like the numbers don't always compliment him, especially with the sacks, because he's always getting back there. He's always bringing pressure. But he's top 3 in tackles in this team for a reason. He's a high active player, and you pair him with Burgess, it's a recipe for disaster.
Poly will line up on that right side. 4-man front for Montclair State. They bring an extra DB. And a wing set now with Burke out to the right side. Bob almost loses the snap, able to re-corral it. Has some pressure, rolls out left, flag flies, gonna throw it downfield for Dzinski, and it's incomplete, out of bounds. And I think that'll be a holding penalty against the Lions. And we'll see if Coach Palazzo will accept it.
I'm sure he will, and I believe that is a hold that stopped a recent tight end switch to defensive lineman Eric Cowan. You saw Cowan just be like, ref, come on, you gotta be kidding me. And both refs throwing 2 flags out because it definitely was a hold. That's gonna be moving them back a bit.
You mentioned the switch from tight end to D-line. That build, the tight end and defensive line, they have the similar type of body size and height, and with his physicality, the transition has worked out perfectly.
And you also got to talk about his athleticism for sure, because making that switch is not easy, my friend. You have to be one heck of a athlete to be able to do that, and he's showing it.
Was a second-team All-NJAC tight end last year. Had a big game against Kane at that big 55-yard touchdown, and now has a sack on the DN as Bop. Again, 2 wideouts left side, and it looked like a jump up front, as it looked like Arnold Young, the D tackle, jumped early.
Yep, Young just getting just a little bit too anxious there. That's going to cost them, move the chains back the other way, but nonetheless, it's still going to be about 2nd and 14.
You'd be right about that. Dzinski will be out wide to the left. 2 wideouts for Bop up to the right side. Montclair's in load up the D-line again. Try to hard count again, and they'll look back to the sideline.
Almost got that new nose tackle in there.
Bop handed up off the middle to Schmidt. Schmidt able to try to bust down like it's about 4 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
You know, on that play right there, we saw TCNJ check to the coach's side and kind of make an audible to hand that off. And you also saw Coach Palazzo and Montclair State change things up. So it's nice to see the coaching battle on that play right there.
So now it's 3rd and 10, guys. I think we're going to see them take a shot right here because they need something big.
So 3rd and 10, 3 wideouts to the right side. Bob Schmidt in the backfield, play action fake. Pressure is getting to him. He has to let one go early, looking for Burke. Incomplete, but a flag flies after the play. Sherrod Cooper was there in coverage, and that's tough to cover that big Burke out on the outside.
Oh, I wish we had a better angle on that one. Gonna be honest with you, I thought the feet just got a little tangled up, but kind of hard to see on that far side. That's gonna be costly, but luckily at the D3 level, at the college level, it's only a 15-yard penalty. Otherwise, that was NFL. They're down knocking on the end of the red zone.
And I like how in college that is only a 15-yard penalty, because there's a lot of pass interferences where it's so minimal, such a minimal amount of contact, and you flip the entire field. The college rules with that specifically is a great addition.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line for Bob. As he will hand it off here with Schmidt. Schmidt able to try to find some space. And he'll get back to about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Actually, I think that was Ryan McKinney on this carry.
So now, fellas, they got something to work with, but they got to find the promised land right now. They were given a gift by the referee. They just have to make sure that they deliver on it.
So Bob will hand it off again with McKinney. Actually, a fake. Bob will roll out to the left side across his body, and a great throw from Bob as he has enough for a 1st down. And that was complete to number 84, Alex Dill.
Trevor Bopp showing off his arm right there, rolling left and firing a missile to the outside of the numbers. That's a nice throw.
That's an NFL quality throw. That's not an easy throw to make. Cross your body, rolling out left to your weak side, outside the numbers.
And fellas, I'll tell you right now, with the defender right on his back, Dill just clamps that one like a jar of pickles.
So 1st and 10 from the 25. Bob rolling out left again. Looking deep down the field for Dzinski in double coverage. Incomplete. Sherrod Cooper again with the breakup. He's having a great game outside.
I believe that was Cowan getting in there on the pressure, forcing Bob to just chuck that one up there and pray for something good to happen. Creates the tip drill, and Montclair doing a great job.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 25. And you've seen the pressure from MSU really get to Bob in these last couple of drives, forcing him to throw some really bad throws.
You're feeling the pressure, man, and when you're at this kind of environment, it is homecoming. And you know, when you know that a team chose homecoming against you, there's just a little bit more of that aggression towards them. And when it's not going your way, it's just all building up. And some players crack under it, some people rise to the occasion. Let's see what happens.
Handoff to Schmidt up the middle, and he's able to find a decent-sized hole, pick up about 5 yards, make it 3rd and manageable. So they bring Cowan back into the game as well as Young. Try to get some pass pressure up front.
Cowan's been in his grill, in Bob's grill all day, especially on a big 3rd down. I love the substitution.
As Bob will roll out right, trying to go to that second option over the head. Intended for number 13, TJ Sheehan. Incomplete 4th down, and they're going to keep the offense back out there.
Why not? I mean, you're down 21-0. I mean, really not a big difference making it 21-3. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all for being aggressive in this situation because you need points and you need it fast if you're TCNJ.
I like the idea of being aggressive, but I think at this point I disagree. I would take the points. I'd take the 3.
Well, Bobby Wortman is 1 of 2 from 40 to 49 yards this year. Is 4 of 5 on field goals. So the fact that they're not going to him in these situations.
I just think getting anything at this point would be huge for TCNJ.
Bob looking left. He's going to fire downfield. There's no one there. I don't know what he was thinking on that throw. He had a couple of wide open receivers. Dzinski was wide open in the flat, and he threw it out of bounds.
So I just want the record to say there that going for it was definitely the right move. There was blown coverage all over the place, with all due respect to Montclair State. If he makes the throw, it's there. Why not? But I don't know what he was thinking. Definitely some miscommunication. He sails that one, and no one was within 15 yards of it.
For sure. Looking back at it, it's easy to say kick the field goal now, but with maybe a different concept, or if they were on the same page, you could have seen a 1st down or a touchdown play right there.
A man of consistency, man.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Redhawks at their own 21-yard line. And this offense has really been rolling over their first 2 drives. Only the 3rd drive of the game, and we're a few minutes into the 2nd. Sanborn airing it out deep downfield, looking for Nelson, incomplete. Had good coverage there by number 23, that was Justin Kirk.
That could have been the straw that broke the camel's back if he hit that one, because Nelson seemed to have had both the defenders beat. I think he might have been on his way to the end zone with that one, but lucky for the Lions, that ball just sails a little too far out of reach.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Montclair State always known for going for that big play early downs, as they'll hand up to Mendez up the middle on 2nd and 10. Mendez will pick up about 2, will be 3rd and 8.
So now here's the question, right? 3rd and 8, your passing game's been working. You love going back to that running game, though, because it catches them just a little bit off sides maybe in this situation. If you could wear down that defense, I don't know. I think call me crazy. I might think about doing an outside run here.
I think a run with Sanborn could be the play, similar to how TCNJ did on one of their early downs in their previous drives.
So 3 wideouts to the left, 4-man line for TCNJ. Sanborn will throw wide open in the flat, enough for a 1st down. See a number in a second, that was number 84, and that is Keyshawn McCurdy.
And that is exactly why we're up in the booth and not calling the plays, Ryan.
That is right, Maz, and Sanborn is playing very well so far. He is picking his spots, and he's being very accurate.
And it seems like TCNJ is giving them a lot of cushion off the line of scrimmage, and these wide receivers are getting easy 5-6 yards receptions in the flat, and there's no pressure. Just too easy right now on the outside. 1st and 10 now for Sanborn. Montclair State give him all the time in the world. He's going to run it himself. Has some space off the left side. He'll go east-west here, and he'll slide after a pickup of 3.
When Sanborn originally took off there, it looked like there was going to be a lot more space in the middle, but TCNJ closed that hole very quickly.
Yeah, I believe that was, if I'm not mistaken, number 4, Jerry Ferrigno coming down there could have made a big hit on Sanborn, but Sanborn saying, I'm running out of territory here. I just need to give myself up and live to see another day. He's playing like a true veteran right now, even though he's a sophomore.
Picks up a few yards. 2nd and 8 now. They line up a wing back on the right side. Henry Lewis in at running back. Sanborn in the flat, able to complete a pass to number 9, Clarence Wilkins. That's the first reception of the day for Wilkins. He'll pick up about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Those short route for Wilkins, it always sets him up over on top because the defender tends to get into this state of comfortability, which is like, okay, he's going to break down, go with the short, and then when you least expect it, he's going down the field. Sanborn's been known to hit him, so you always got to be on your toes covering somebody like Clarence.
3rd down. Montclair State today on 3rd down is 2 of 3. Been very efficient in the early going to this game. Sanborn dropping back. Has pressure, tries to roll out right. Has some space off to the right side. See if he'll take it himself. And he's got the 1st down. But a flag flies towards the end of the play. We'll see what the call is in a second.
I saw it back at midfield. One of the defensive linemen was complaining about being held, even though I'm not sure if he necessarily had the grievance for it. I'm wondering what that call was against.
And I think it's against the defense. You see the referee with the ball moving up. No, it's going to be against the offense.
No, yeah, he pointed, he said holding on Montclair State offense.
So it'll be a holding call, push the offense back, make it a 3rd down. And I think it'll be about 16.
Sanborn gives this team an element of running and something that has to keep the defense honest, and right there you saw it. Unfortunately, the penalty for Montclair State, but good stuff from Sanborn escaping
from the 28-yard line.
Collapsed very quickly.
3rd and 15.
I'd love to see a screen here from Montclair State, a little halfback action maybe, but I think they're going back to Sanborn's arm, let him do some work.
Sanborn dropping back. He'll dump off in the flat here with Mendez. Mendez makes a man miss, still on his feet, and Mendez will get about 8 yards on that reception. It'll be 4th and 8, and the punting unit probably will be coming out here.
Is Brandon Marazzo the OC for TCNJ tonight?
I don't know, but just know that sometimes I do my homework, and it pays off.
All right, Romo. So it'll be 4th and 8, and the punting unit out, and it'll be Michael Fitzpatrick to have his first punt of the game, the reigning NJAC Special Teams Player of the Week. Penn Union College within the 20 3 times in that game. As he lets this one go, and it'll bounce back and field it. I don't know why Schmidt would catch that, but he catches it right around the 28. And that's where TCNJ's offense will take over.
I think he saw the friendly roll going there for Montclair State, and he said, all right, let me just try to do my part. But I'll tell you, with all those red helmets surrounding him, that could have been costly.
Definitely a dangerous idea. He didn't want to lose the yardage for his team, but he was able to hold on tightly and get to the ground.
So it'll be 7:54 left here in the 2nd quarter. Montclair State's defense yet to let up a score. So far today for TCNJ, they have a total of 160 yards. As they'll hand it up middle here with Schmidt. And Schmidt will get about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Anthony, you mentioned that TCNJ has 160 yards. They've been moving the ball pretty well. And when they get into the red zone, they had the blocked field goal. They went for it on 4th down on the last drive. So we've seen them move the ball. They need to become more efficient and get some points on the board with it.
Yeah, they're just not finishing on the offensive end. They've been getting down the field and hasn't really been working out as Terrell. You notice this at the bottom of your screen, Terrell against Burke, one-on-one. And play action fake here with Bob. He's going to go all the way to Burke on the sideline, and a flag flies. I thought that was good coverage by Terrell as he was able to shield him off to the sideline, but the ref said no. It'll be a pass interference.
Just too much hand fighting down there. I thought it was a nice job trying to, herd the receiver out of bounds, but they're saying that the receiver has the right to that land, and it's going to cost him. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty on that one. But honestly not the worst problem to have if you're Montclair State.
You see Coach Palazzo really ticked off about that one. It looked like Terrell had his head turned and was playing good enough defense. And with the size advantage, you would like to see the ref maybe give him a better chance at that, but he called it a little too physical.
Saw it come at the end. I think we wouldn't have seen it had that ball not dipped down. I guess they said that it could have been catchable because that one looked like it was sailing over and then all of a sudden just died out. That's a really great touch by Bob.
So 15 yards. We'll start out now at the 47-yard line. That's where TCNJ will have it.
After the 15-yard
Again, Burke against Terrell, that one-on-one matchup. I saw it right away, and I said that's what they want.
42.
And now the refs are convening here. I don't know what this is about. We saw Palazzo yelling from the sideline. Sideline warning against the Redhawks. Always got to be careful after a call like that. You don't want to get yourself in trouble with the sideline.
Shout out Cam Martin right now, keeping his coach in order right now. Like I said, you got to make plays when you're not on the field. This is the culture. Everybody getting after it. Everybody contributing here at Montclair State.
And they hand it up to Drake up the middle. Drake trying to find some space off the left side. He is swarmed. Montclair State is not giving any to the run game right now, and he is getting dropped after a pickup of one.
I'll tell you right now, defensive coordinator and assistant coach Liam Nelson has game planned and has really had his units come out right now. The defense, although they've given up some yardage, still that big goose egg, they'll take that any day of the week. And right now, they're shining.
Bend but don't break, right? They've created huge plays on the defensive side and special teams. It's just what you want to see for a defensive side for Montclair State.
Reading the keys to success.
2nd and 9, Burke in the slot. Bop will play action fake, try to go right in the middle, and it's intercepted! Going down the sideline, Sherrod Cooper, and he is gonna go and brought down inside the 6.
That's how you jump the route, fellas. You saw the quarterback's eyes. He comes in, and like a hawk, he comes in, scoops that ball, takes it all the way down to the red zone. A nice job by Bob to not give up that touchdown, but another big play. And you know Coach Nelson is absolutely elated with his squad right now.
You mentioned it, Maz. Reading the quarterback's eyes, great instincts to be able to jump that route, and what a run back as well to bring this inside the 10 for Montclair State.
Sherrod Cooper, 2 picks now for this Red Hawk defense. That's the one thing that we circled on Bob. He led the NJAC in interceptions with 6 coming into today. Already 2 in the first half. A great read by Sherrod Cooper. And now the offense set up at the 6-yard line. 3 wideouts to the weak side. Sanborn with Lewis in the backfield. And now the refs blow this whistle. And I think it's going to be a timeout taken by the Redhawks. That is their first.
And Trevor Bopp with 2 interceptions already. We've seen his arm be very capable of making nice throws, but it seems like he gets a little too antsy sometimes, tries to force it in, and right there, it just wasn't the right read.
But look at the face of head coach Mike Palazzo right now. I mean, you know he's got to be happy, but he's still making adjustments. He's saying, fellas, we are not done yet. There's a job to do. There's a reason why they took that timeout. They just want to talk things over a little bit. They know that there's a chance to potentially seal the deal right here on this one. And I'll tell you, fellas, this team is just flying. But with a first down situation, I don't think you want to be too aggressive here. I expect them to just slam that ball right up the middle and let somebody like Abijani Mendez go to work.
Mendez now in the game at running back. They bring in an extra wing back. I think that might be Cowan. Sanborn sends a man in motion. Now 2 receivers out to the left side. Sanborn, play action fake, rolls out to his left, trying to find somebody over the middle. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown.
I don't know.
Anthony Roger for the 2nd time today.
What a throw by Andrew Sanborn. Rolling left, lobs it in a perfect spot in between 3 defenders. Wow.
I don't know if That's Andrew Sanborn right now. He's looking like Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M the way that he's playing. But I'll tell you, the big difference between them is that Sanborn watches film. Unreal.
Casimir now out for the extra point. Roger being a big-time target for Sanborn.
Sanborn has made some great throws through the first 4 games of the season, but right there, I think that was the most impressive one that at least I have seen.
So extra point is good. It'll be 28-0, like you said, Ryan. It's that throw across his body, rolling out left into traffic, able to find Roger. And Roger, the ability to concentrate with a defender on his back to make that catch, truly impressive.
And it seemed like when Sanborn was rolling out, it seemed like the play could have been dead and no one was really open, and he really fit it in where only his guy could get it.
The confidence this kid has at such a young age, only a sophomore. He's playing like a fifth-year senior in this one. I mean, as you said, Ryan, 3 defenders, the tightest of windows, and he sneaks it right in there. I mean, doing it on the run with the defender flying down on you, no problem. I mean, this kid is something special right now.
Montclair State 3 for 3 touchdowns off of turnovers right now. And it just seems like TCNJ has kind of been shooting themselves in the foot on the offensive end. So Casimir will kick it back with Vick and Schmidt to return. And Schmidt will field it right around the 7-yard line, trying to find a lane, and he is brought down. And number 44 there on the tackle. That's Cole Master.
And another good job by the special teams unit, limiting the return yards, giving their defense a lot of room to work with.
So that'll bring out Bop again, and I think it's too early to say, but this is a must-score drive.
Oh, absolutely.
It's only the first half, but you do not want to give Montclair State another opportunity to go up another score.
They need a touchdown here. Field goal's not going to be enough for me, man. You got to find a way to get into the end zone because this one's already gotten ugly, and it's running away from TCNJ fast.
Montclair State loading up the defensive line. 7 players in the box as Gashi drops back. Play action fake here from Bob. Has some pressure. He's going to throw it over the middle, and this is a wide open receiver. Was looking over the middle for Alex Dill and just out of the reach.
And right there, it looked like Montclair State was in cover 3, so the slot and the seam is going to be wide open. Just Bob could not put it right where he needed to.
Bob doing a nice job of escaping there. That pocket collapsed faster than anything, and just a simple little step up. I just don't think he was able to get that the hips back in that snapping motion that you wanted to. Just overthrows it a little bit, but that could have been the big play that TCNJ needed.
6:02 left here in the first half. Montclair State now with 3-man line. Burgess on the blitz, and play action fake here as Bob's trying to throw it, and he'll run it himself, pick up about 3 yards. A little late there at the end there by Cowan, but no flag flies.
Well, I'll tell you right now, TCNJ, if that was my quarterback in this situation, he's clearly giving himself up. It's not a flag, but somebody got to get a little aggressive there. I mean, to put hands on the quarterback as he's going out of bounds. I don't know about you fellas. I used to play offensive lineman, and we'd at least, at the very minimum, be having some words about that.
It'll be 3rd and 7 for this TCNJ offense. Spread out. Montclair State showing pressure with 4 as taking the snap. Here's Bop, and he'll get it out in the flat as Vick falls over. Pick up about 2, it'll be 4th down, and I think they got to go for it as a player down now for Montclair State. But back to his feet was Young. Now the punting unit out on the field for TCNJ. Might see a hard count with the 4th and 4.
And you see his fellow players telling him to just go down right now, get looked at. Nobody wants to come out of this one right now. Too much fun for the Montclair State side.
That's Young on the ground now for the Red Hawks. And he gets pulled to his feet. Able to walk off on his own power now.
Let's look back at the Sanborn touchdown here. Rolling out left, just floats it up there. I still have no clue how he completes it. And a great touchdown for Montclair State. But back to the action.
He had a little window to throw that ball and able to complete it. But now a 4th and 4 opportunity. The first time we're going to see the punter today for TCNJ and Joe Aliano.
And we're seeing this new thing at the college level. Put some linemen back there in that second line. I absolutely love it. Get a little extra protection, because as we see in this one, when you forget about special teams, it turns the tide.
And the punt will find its way, and it's caught. And now a return here for MSU, and be returned out. They'll pick up a 5 as it was returned out by Zach Lewis.
Lewis with a cheeky little play there. You saw the hand come up, but he never waves, and that's the key component there. And he doesn't put it enough above his helmet. So I think they expected, with them having numbers, TCNJ of course, they thought he was just going to take the fair catch. But he tries making a play where he can, and it's a heads-up play.
So Lewis gets it out to the 45. That's where Sanborn, the offense, will take over. 4:41 left here in the first half. Lewis in the backfield. Seems like anything the Redhawks pick right now is working out. They stack the D-line. Sending man in motion. That's Bryant. And Sanborn will take the snap. Play action fake to Lewis. He has nowhere to go. Able to reverse field, try to get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up about a yard, but good job by Sanborn. Had 2 D linemen right in his face. You saw it was Patrick Frawley right there, and he was able to reverse field and get out of bounds.
Well, you could go left, you could go right. One of them is going to lead to a big sack. The other one's actually going to pick up a gain of 2. And that time, the instincts again for the sophomore quarterback showing off. He's just playing 3D chess, with TCNJ might be playing checkers.
He seems like a step ahead, and he's just so difficult in open space to tackle one-on-one, even as the quarterback.
2nd down and 8. Lewis in motion. 3 wide out to the left side now. Sanborn audibling. Play action, and actually hand up the middle to Lewis. Lewis has some space, has a first down, makes a great cut, and is able to pick up about 10 yards. Longest run of the day for Montclair State. That'll be enough for a first down.
Lewis putting the moves on 2 defenders. Nice run and good way of changing directions on that one.
Montclair State had a total of 7 rushing yards before that play. That matched their entire total first half output. So 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. As there's about 3:30 left to go in the first half. Sanborn with 3 wide outs to the left. Lewis still in the game. 2 high safeties now for TCNJ. Sanborn fakes the pitch. Now he's going to roll out right, able to avoid the pressure, has some space, and picks up about 7 yards. It will be 2nd and about 4.
Sanborn just looks so confident. He knows what every move he's going to do. That's what it looks like, at least to me.
I'm telling you right now, this kid is a natural-born killer for me. I mean, some people just have it. The things develop before the average person can even see it. And right now, he's already thinking, do I go left? Do I go right? And he's picking the right timing every time.
And he's taking what the defense is giving him, too, as well. So that's just exactly what you want to see from your young quarterback.
So 2nd and 4 now for Sanborn. See Lewis out wide left here. Play action, he'll dump it off in the flat now. And a nice hurdle. What a play from Zach Lewis, and he has enough for a first down.
Well, like one of those Portuguese matadors, a little Olay action. That's what I'm talking about.
Great athleticism to get over the TCNJ defender, and that you'll see that in his highlight tape.
14 of 17, Andrew Sanborn in this first half for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Impressive performance in the air with Andrew Sanborn. So trips wide left. 1st and 10 from the 29. Sanborn looks right, pumps it, and puts it down. He's going to try to throw it across his body again, and he got the completion at the 3-yard line. And he finds Clarence Wilkins with his 2nd catch of the day.
Andrew Sanborn is absolutely balling right now. He takes off, looks like he's gonna run. Defense expecting run, keeps his eyes down the field and fires a laser.
I haven't seen a quarterback throw across the body like this since Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben never had the speed this kid did.
Clarence Wilkins finding his way in as throw up the middle with Mendez, and Mendez gets about a yard. It'll be 2nd down.
The ability to just throw on the run across the body is just absolutely insane right now.
And I'm surprised TCNJ is not taking a timeout here. Minute 22 now running off the clock. Montclair State is just taking their sweet time before they try to score and give them no time before half. And they're just running this play clock down. 5 receiver set, Sanborn empty backfield. As TCNJ loading up the D-line. Look at man coverage. Sanborn's going to roll out right. Has no options. Going to try to maybe run it himself. He's going to throw in the back of the end zone. Is it caught? No, incomplete. Didn't think he had his feet down, as it was Riley Nelson the ball was intended for.
Might have tried to force the throw there a little bit. He had a lot of room to work with. I thought he could have walked in there.
It looked like he had some space to run in there, but you never know with how fast and physical these defensive players are. You don't want to take a huge hit if you don't have to. But you are right, Maz. He did have some space on that corner.
Clock stops with 51 seconds on the clock. 3rd and goal from the 3. Lewis now in the game at running back. 3 wideouts to the right. Wilkins one-on-one. Sanborn's going to throw it to Wilkins. Wide open. Touchdown. Montclair State, and an already impressive first half. And the Redhawks go up 5 scores.
Unreal right now. All I know is that associate head coach and offense coordinator / quarterbacks coach does everything here. For Steve Sharapa has just absolutely said, we're letting Sanborn unleash right now. We've been seeing the progression. We chose this kid to be the number 1 because of the escapability, because of the arm strength, because of his natural instincts, and everything is just working together for this kid right now. I mean, it is unbelievable what we are seeing from this sophomore.
Casimir's extra point is good.
This feels like a coming out party for Andrew Sanborn and kind of the Coach Palazzo new team era right now. Montclair State 35 right now, and everything is clicking.
And I think what you're seeing in these first few weeks was Sanborn was trying to get comfortable with the offense. Wasn't really comfortable yet. And now in the homecoming game against TCNJ, finally getting a chance to really showcase his strength, utilizing the short passing game, getting him outside the pocket, making throws on the run. That's his strength. And I think that's exactly what you've been seeing, and that's how the Redhawks offense is now starting to roll.
And they're showing that they have all of the confidence in the world to hand Sanborn the keys and to let him do what he does best and get out in space and be a playmaker.
35-0. And we still have about 48 seconds until half?
Yep. As Casimir will kick back off, Vic and Schmidt back to return again. As he'll kick it back deep. Vic will take it around the 7-yard line. A wall there from TCNJ, but he's buried at the 24-yard line. Tackled again by number 44, Cole Master, making his name on the kickoff team.
Master just blowing up the wall on that one. You saw 4 Lions there trying to create it. He spearheads right through it, dropping that shoulder, keeping his head up though, and comes up with a big tackle.
That'll leave 43 seconds here for Trevor Bob to try to at least get into field goal range, salvage some points before half. 3 timeouts on hand. But this Montclair State defense has been stifling today. Already 2 takeaways and a blocked field goal. Bob taking the snap, has pressure, and hit from behind, has to get it out. He will, completes the pass to number 2, Jason Schmidt. A nice little shuffle pass, and he'll pick up about 9 yards close to the marker, and they're going to give him enough for a first down.
The Lions are lucky to escape with possession still right now after that one. Bob almost gets strip sacked on that and barely flips it out to his receiver. Very scary play.
Polly with the pressure on that one. Bob trying to look downfield, is able to complete it to Dazinski, and he has enough for a first down. Pick up about 12 yards. Good coverage there on the other side by number 27 for the Redhawks. That's Amari Wilmore. So 1st and 10, 15 seconds left as TCNJ will have to take a timeout to stop the clock. He did not get out of bounds.
And I'll tell you right now.
And they're just going to take it into half. Oh no, timeout. Timeout taken by TCNJ. That's their first.
I'll tell you right now, I'm really impressed with the TCNJ wide receivers right now. They're making catches in traffic, but you got to make it easier for them. I mean, this Red Hawks defense has the ability to turn games upside on their head, and they've done it already in this one. The offensive scheming just has to be a little bit better. They have to get these wide receivers open. You have a quarterback who can let it loose. You got to find a way to protect him just better and get him some easy throws.
I think the key for that is getting Burke over the middle. We've seen him take a couple deep shots down the sideline using his height, but with his size, I think using him over the middle, he's a huge target. It's easier for Bob to hit than some of the other targets.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Bob almost loses the snap, able to re-corral it, and he'll just throw it away. That might be grounding. He was still in the tackle box, and there's no receivers in the area. And if that's the case, that could be a 10-second runoff, and TCNJ would have to burn timeout.
Yeah, I think they're just going to give it to him. Kind of feeling for the kid here, hitting the emergency eject button on that one. I mean, he's been taking a beating these last couple of drives.
So it'll be 2nd down at the 46. Refs did not throw the flag for the intentional grounding, so it'll still stay 2nd down. And a trips bunch set. You see Burke as well as Sheehan and Dazinski out wide. Montclair State showing stunts at the line, and pressure now right in Bob's face. He's going to have to throw it away again, and potentially another grounding call, but it'll be a roughing the passer as a late hit by number 54, Arnold Young, and Bob a little slow to get up.
How about the stunt from Young, though, just flying on in there. I mean, he stunted harder on that line than Lil Wayne did on 2000's beats.
So a 15-yard penalty on the roughing the passer call. I do think they've missed a couple intentional groundings right in a row. He was still in the tackle box, and there was no receiver within the area.
Well, we're in the new age of protecting quarterbacks, and that's what makes this Red Hawk defense so much more impressive, because it just seems like every week you turn around, there's a new facet of the defense that's being taken away from them. But Montclair says, keep it coming, we'll adjust to the rules, no problem. We might give up a couple of penalties here, but we're here and we're getting after it. Might be the Red Hawks, but they're absolute dogs.
Potential time for one more play here in this first half. 5 seconds on the game clock. Bob play action. He's going to look deep downfield for Burke. Coverage there by the Red Hawks. And almost intercepted, but incomplete. And that'll do it for the first half. Montclair State, impressive 35-0 lead over the Lions. You saw 3 touchdowns from Andrew Sanborn, 2 receiving touchdowns from Anthony Roger, 1 from Clarence Wilkins, blocked field goal returned all the way to the house by Jaden Brimage, and then a pick 6 by Nicholas Burgess, his 2nd straight homecoming pick 6 in as many years. Just an impressive performance from Mike Palazzo's squad. They came out impressive, and they really went to the game and they played well. Here are the highlights from the first half. You see the Red Hawks take the field. Sanborn here on his first play, rolling out right, throws across the middle to Roger, and look at Roger's ability to just get down the sideline, keep his balance, and really fight for that end zone. That's a tough play by Anthony Roger.
You see the team still celebrating it. They got hyped early, and then they carried the momentum here. As you see, the camera even being juked out on this blocked field goal and taking it all the way back to the house is the Red Hawks. Special teams matter, people. You got to make it happen, and they did early on.
That was Jaden Brimage on the return for the touchdown.
And getting it done on the defensive side right here, you see Nicholas Burgess fighting for the tip drill, making the catch and taking it all the way to the house, showing off the stiff arm on Trevor Bopp right there. What a start from Montclair State.
And then right here, you see the rollout to the left side as Sanborn looking downfield, always keeps his eyes downfield and able to find Roger for his 2nd touchdown reception of the first half.
Then looking back again as he hit Clarence Wilkins on just this nice little one-on-one route, goes right to him and nails it home. I mean, just absolutely fantastic.
As right in here at midfield, you have the Hall of Fame nominees or inductees here for the Red Hawks. What a homecoming here for Montclair State. They come out 35-0 at the half. They played impressive. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. They did everything they needed to do on the defensive side. They were getting pressure on Bob, making him uncomfortable in the pocket. Did everything right. and that was what they really needed to do. As we're ready to go to Matt and Connor at the halftime show, guys, what do you have for us?
Great stuff, guys. That was an incredible first half, 35-0. Did you expect that?
I did not expect that one, Matt. I think you might have jinxed it there, honestly, in the pregame.
Yeah, the 59-7 previous matchup in 1941. I didn't think that was going to be able to happen again, but it might happen here. But what else are we looking forward to today?
Well, aside from this gigantic homecoming ceremony going on right now, Montclair State recently had its own Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So let's hear from Thomas Gaffney on the 4 new inductees of 2023.
Montclair State enshrines 4 new members in its Athletic Hall of Fame. Among this group includes lacrosse player John Capristo, volleyball player Anna Chesnikova, football QB Tom Fisher, and from track and field Heather Garrity. Tom Fisher played quarterback from 2008 to 2011, passing for 6,892 yards with 51 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns. His most successful individual season was in 2010, where he was awarded NJAC Offensive Player of the Year. Fisher graduated at MSU with a dominant record of 32-7 as a starter. He sits first in MSU pass completions all time and third all time in attempts, yards, and touchdowns.
It was really cool to get the call from Pat and Bob and the committee, and again, it means a lot. It means like the hard work and the effort and the energy and all the things that you put into it throughout your career, and you know, it paid off and been a feather in the cap to my teammates. It's just as much about them as it is about me. So, you know, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings for sure.
Anna Chesnikova was a key member of the team from 2006 to 2009. Starting in 2007, she led the squad to the NCAA tournament for the first time in history, and winning the NJAC championship that year. Her stats speak for themselves: 1,080 kills and 468 blocks, still leading that stat to this day. She ended her college career on a high note in 2009, going 8-0 that year.
It feels surreal. I still can't believe it's happening, honestly. It's just such an humbling honor, and I can't believe that I'm here. I think just the camaraderie of the team, and we've been together for a while, and it was nice to see something that we've been working for so hard to become a reality. It's just something that I will remember.
John Capristo was goalie from 1986 to 1989, and he's had a lot of success. With a save percentage of .711, he was able to be a part of the 15-0 Red Hawk team in 1989. He ended his college career with some hardware on the ECAC championship team that beat Kane University. At the end of his 4 seasons for MSU, Capristo finished with 54 goals allowed in 15 games.
It feels great. I feel like in a way I earned it, but we earned it. We were a great team. We had a lot of fun. We played for fun, and we just had all the right people at all the right time doing their job, and as a result, I feel like I am put in this position because of them.
The final inductee is track and field star Heather Garrity. She was on the team from 2010 to 2014. Heather mastered hurdles and earned many individual accolades, including a 4-time NCAA All-American, 5-time First Team All-Conference, 5-time NJAC Athlete of the Week, and 4-time MSU Athlete of the Week, just to name a few. She holds the current NJAC conference record in 400 hurdles and 4x400 relay.
Oh, it's great. It feels like I never left. I pulled up to campus today and so many things look the same, and being in the Hall of Fame room, I'm just so honored to be back. And my big speech before our race, I said, look around, you deserve to be here just like everybody else. Don't be intimidated, you know, this is your track, you made it here, and just do your best.
Congratulations to all the inductees on their accomplishments and the cap to their outstanding careers.
I think the Hall of Famers chose a good time to get inducted with how well that this game is going so far. Did you know that Anna Chesnikova was recruited by Coach Harvey?
Really?
Yeah.
Because she used to be the volleyball coach.
Not yet. It wasn't recruited for basketball, but for volleyball when Coach Harvey used to coach for the volleyball team.
It's incredible for these 4 to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, but now we're going to head to the sidelines where we have Luke Sirianni with Andrew Sanborn's father, Craig Sanborn.
Are they throwing? I'm here with Craig Sanborn, father of starting quarterback Andrew Sanborn. Craig, how does it feel to see your son start at QB at the collegiate level?
Especially after his senior year, his COVID year,
you're saying was very good. But how about Andrew Sanborn?
Incredible game thus far. 35-0. You've seen the offense score a ton. And it's not even the offense. The defense has scored, special teams, everything.
Yeah, so sorry about those technical difficulties, but like we said, 35-0 now after that first half. Sanborn had an incredible 3 touchdowns so far. The defense and the special teams were clicking.
Not many times do you see in the first half each phase of the game score their own touchdown. Incredible blocked field goal, return to the end zone. Nicholas Burgess as well. Back-to-back homecomings with a pick 6. What a stat that is.
How many times can you say that you had a pick 6 in all your homecomings? It seems like every time that it's homecoming, Burgess is going to go off.
Absolutely, and Sanborn now, his first year with Montclair State. Incredible first half here he's had.
Yeah, I really love to see what we've seen so far from those Red Hawks. The offense is doing great, the defense is doing great, especially the special teams too. Cafone and Maz and Ryan all touched on it. The playmaking though, from the skill players. Clarence Wilkins got in the end zone. How about Anthony Roget?
2 touchdowns already for Roget, and they've been doing it. He had a great catch in the corner of the end zone right here over my shoulder, and we still got the best view in the house here. And it's been unreal how they've been playing.
And it's pretty uncertain about how little that they use the run game. Yeah. They've only ran it 4 times so far in that first half. Sanborn got a few carries for 11 yards, but not a lot of Mendez. What do you think that TCNJ has to do now, knowing that Montclair is going out there to pass?
Well, TCNJ, one thing they got to do, first off on defense, they got to get the passing attack down, because now that they're up 35-0, now Montclair State's going to run. So now this is where you got to stop Johnny Mendez. No reason risking the pass now. When you're up by so much, you just run the ball, burn some clock. So the run defense has to get going to force Montclair to pass, and maybe they can catch them lacking.
And like we talked about it in pregame about how good the offensive line is for Montclair State. Do you think that has played a huge part in the fact that Sanborn has been so successful through the air and that they haven't really needed to use the run game because the pass protection has been so elite?
Oh, no doubt.
What?
No doubt for sure, because they have been on point with every single play and every single phase of the game. And that O-line, the most underrated part of any football team, don't get talked about as much, but I'm sure they're doing a great job out there, keeping Sanborn 48-yard touchdown, all over.
And now we're going to go back to Vincent Picone on the sideline.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Rachel Curran, who's a transfer from Eastern University. It's her first year on the Red Hawks, and she leads the team in kills already. Rachel, how does this feel to be at your first homecoming with the Red Hawks?
It's really cool. I came with my teammates. This is a whole new experience for me. I went to a small school, so everything's big, like crazy. I love it.
Now, I feel like the big question is, how is the new team? How do you like being around them?
It's so fun. You know, we're very young, but everyone's very energetic, and we love playing together. So practices, games, everything's so fun. And hopefully we'll do well in the NJAC here on out.
Yeah, and what's the hopes on the future coming next?
The future, well, the goal is to win the NJAC and hopefully go to NCAA tournament.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Back to you guys.
Awesome. Great stuff, Vincent. The volleyball team, we talked to Coach Sawinski before, 8-8 right now. Probably not the exact type of season they've wanted so far.
But they've had some really close games. Some games haven't gone the way they wanted, but there have been other times where a set is off by just 1 point. And those sets are so crucial. That could be the difference between a win and a loss. Maybe if you win one set here that you weren't supposed to win, maybe the pace of the game changed a little more and could result in a whole different thing.
Yeah, we saw it on Thursday when they went to Rowan. They lost the first set 25-16, the second set 25-23, and then the third set 26-24. So if they just were able to get one more set, it seemed like that they were getting as the game is going on. And I think that's something that is very true with this Montclair volleyball team, is that they're only going to get better as the games go on. It's such a young team. We talked before about how they lost Carly Warden, they lost Leah Higgins. Delaney St. Pierre was their setter for the last 3 seasons. So when you lose those types of pieces, you really have to kind of start over. And Coach Stawinski has done a great job with building that program.
Yeah, especially in college sports, it's not like you can just sign a player for a 5-year contract. It's a constant revolving door of people coming in and out. So to be able to build every year and replace the holes, because you're guaranteed to lose athletes. You can't have them for more than 4 or 5 years at a time.
Yeah, and it's not like a professional league where you can sign somebody to a 10-year contract. You only get them for a few seasons, and we know with this team that we're at the midway point, but they're going to get better as the games go on because it's such a young team. Just one senior on the roster.
just one senior, and also what's even harder about it not being professional sports, you're competing with every other school making their pitch to an athlete. You're on equal ground at that point. It's just, what do you have that you can bring to a certain athlete? There's no, well, with NIL, I know it's getting different, but originally it's so different when you just have to say why you should pick me, in other words. They get free reign.
Yeah, and the volleyball team, it kind of reminds me of the Red Hawk Sports Network because it's getting better as it's going on. We talked about before about this was the first time we've ever done this 2 years ago. So this is the third show, and the fact that we can put on this sort of production is incredible.
Lights out here shining bright on us, you know, brightest part of the whole stadium right now, and everyone working so extremely hard out there. Shout out to silent reporters, the guys in the booth, everyone.
Yeah, and we talked before about this being your first semester. You called the game earlier today. How did that game go?
That game, back and forth defensive battle. You saw Messiah have a phenomenal goaltending streak there. They didn't allow one goal. The score was 1-0 Messiah. Ended up taking down the Red Hawks, but it was a valiant effort from both sides. Defense would not let up. Midfield from both sides played great. It was a very back and forth in the first quarter. Montclair State dominated possession, had 6 straight corners, but just wasn't able to get a score. Second and third quarter, Messiah took over, and then in the fourth, it was a really back and forth battle to try and duke it out.
Yeah, and the field hockey team, they really work so hard. We saw something similar happen last year where they didn't get off to the greatest of starts, but then the second half of the season, they really turned it up.
They really turned it up, is right, Matt. But now we are going to head to Luke Sirianni on the sideline with Hall of Famer Tom Fisher.
I'm here with former quarterback and recently new inducted Hall of Fame athletic Tom Fisher. Tom, how does it feel to be back on campus and a field you're very familiar with?
It's cool. It's the atmosphere at homecoming is always a special event. You know, the kids come out big time. It was always fun playing in the atmosphere like this. Wasn't every week, but homecoming was always fun, and it was special for sure.
And you know, you're on Sprague Field, a field you play many games at. You had a lot of success on this field. What do you miss most about standing on this field?
It's a good question. You know, I saw a lot of guys here tonight that I played with, a lot of good relationships. You know, definitely, I think competing, getting after it with them and the camaraderie, and you know, again, just trying to get a dub every week with the boys was always something I missed the most, for sure.
And last question from me. Paint a picture for me. On this field, what's your favorite moment on Sprague Field in your career? Give me a date and just give me like a quick 10 seconds.
Oh, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of good memories here. I would probably say 2009. I don't remember the date, but a rainy afternoon, we played Keene in the NJAC championship game. You know, I was able to score a touchdown on a quarterback draw. We ended up beating them in an outright championship, and you know, propelled us into the playoffs. So that was definitely a special moment with not only me but my teammates that day, and winning the NJAC conference in 2009.
Well, Tom, I want to thank you for your time, and back over to you guys.
And we're back here on the set, Sprague Field. Very special guest, Christian Booker. Christian, how we doing?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
How's your homecoming going so far, man?
I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm chilling. I'm with everybody. I don't know if the camera can see everybody, but shout out Montclair State basketball.
The basketball teams are here in attendance. We were talking before about how much you guys support all the other teams. You guys are going to the soccer games, going to the volleyball games. What does it mean to be so together as an athletics department?
I don't know, because I feel like we always see everyone we always see everybody at our games, so we're always going to return the same love back. And I feel like when we give love, we're going to get it back even more, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Now, earlier today, we were talking with Coach Potts. He brought his 2 daughters on the set, and he explained to us how you guys are like older brothers to her. So what did Quentin and Kennedy mean to you guys?
They mean a lot. We go over there sometimes when Coach prepares his famous steak. Make sure he gets shouted on that steak. He takes a lot of pride in that steak. But yeah, when we go over there, we have a lot of fun with them. Play hide and go seek with them, tag with them, everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're like little sisters, and Potts is like big unk, I guess, in a way.
Talk about the off season. How has your off season been going, and what are you guys looking forward to this upcoming season?
Off season's been great. Coach Nick and Courtney have been getting us right in the weight room over the summer and even back in the fall. We've been doing a lot of running, a lot of lifting. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, you guys got to stay conditioned with the style of play. Can you talk about that style of play of fast breaks and full court press?
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot. We got to stay mentally locked in. Coach talks about a lot. It's a lot of physical toll, but I think it's more mental. Where when you're tired, you have to tell yourself, like, I can go a little bit more. I can go a little bit more.
Now I got a question for you. On the calendar, what are some dates you have circled? Which teams are you looking forward mostly to taking down this year?
So we're going to go a little bit different this year. Coach Potts wants us to take every team very seriously. So we're not even going to look at, I don't even know what we have next. We're going to look one game at a time, and we're just going to focus on winning that game. Because if we do that every game, we'll be more prepared than the other team.
Steve Bremen graduated. Who do we think is going to take a step up and take into that captain role?
We got a few guys. We got Keon Price. I think is going to take a huge leap this year. Karen Flanagan. Yes. Mike Jack for sure. Mike Jack is going to be banging a lot of threes for us, and I expect to see a lot from Francisco Polino for sure too.
Now, one more thing here I got personally. Which guys that maybe not everybody knows, who are some under the radar names that everyone should keep an eye out for?
Yes, I would probably say Amir Williams for sure. Amir Williams will be back. I would say Kyrie Henry. I'd say Ahmad Robertson. He's a freshman, so I'm not familiar with his last name. But yes, Ahmad for sure. He's very bouncy. Y'all know me in warm-ups. Ahmad is just as bouncy.
Wow. That's that takes a lot.
Yes.
How long have you been playing basketball for? Talk to me about your high school days.
Yes, high school. Yes, this is my man Matt right here. Yes, St. John Vianney. Let's rep for St. John Vianney. I went to St. John Vianney High School. I've been playing basketball seriously, I'd probably say since my 5th grade. I went to Madawan, and then I moved to St. John Vianney in high school. And yeah, and so now I'm in my 5th year. So what is that, about?
9 years. There you go.
9 years. Wow, it's crazy.
Come on. You ever look back and you kind of think, it's been a really long time. Like,
you sit down.
How long has it been? Do you remember your first memory? What got you into basketball the first time?
I would probably say Vince Carter. I used to watch Vince Carter a lot, and I used to see him in the dunk contest and all that. That's probably why I want to dunk so much and all that. But yeah, I used to see Vince Carter all the time doing windmills and all that, so I just wanted to copy him and do the same thing. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got here, just loving the game.
And now, joining with me on the other side, we got Amir Williams in the building. Amir, how's it going?
What's up? How's everyone doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing really good.
Got Big Mir.
Big Mir.
How's the recovery? Recovery's been really good. I'm clear now, so I'm just grateful, and I'm blessed to be back. So yeah.
So I got to ask you personally, the Achilles injury last year, how are you doing in that recovery process? How are you feeling, man?
I'm doing really good. Just taking it day by day. I'm coming back, so just taking the day, whether it's not getting full rest, but I'm back, so can't wait for the season.
Do both of you guys know how many days until your first tip-off?
I don't know the math, but it's November 10th.
November 10th at Lycombe. I know that for a fact.
November 10th.
For sure,
Please,
yes.
November 10th, remember that date.
We need everyone there.
So, let me know now.
What are we looking forward to most of the season?
Memories, for
Just
sure.
the memories with my brothers.
This is the funniest group of guys I've ever been
Yes, I
around
love
in
these
my
guys like
entire
my
life.
brothers.
I promise you, each and one of these guys are my blood brothers. I don't have any blood brothers, but these are my blood brothers, and they know it.
Yeah, I can agree to that. I have no brothers, but I got 22 brothers this year. So yeah, love these guys. Yeah, the freshmen came in and they just adapt to the lifestyle we live, and just everything we do everything together as a family. So
Absolutely.
they just
That's
adapt
actually
to
what
it.
the B stands for in Habits is brotherhood. We take that really seriously on and off the court. I feel like that's what separates us from some teams, because some teams they gel during practice and the games, but we make sure that we're around each other kind of 24/7. So.
Well, boys, it was an honor having both of you here. Good luck on your season. Have a great rest of your homecoming.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. Montclair State.
So, now we're getting set for the second half here now. Back with Matt Boucher. Matt, these guys have a lot of personality, don't they?
No, yeah. They deserve to be up here. It's so good to talk to them. The fact that they can come up here and talk to us, it just shows how much that they've grown as people. You really?
No doubt about that. There's some fun guys here, and that team's going to be different this year. They talked about a whole group of brothers, almost 22 on one team. That's a lot in one little family there, but it's just like us, even though we don't have 22.
Yeah, and we're getting ready for the second half. What do you think Montclair State needs to do? Just keep the foot on the gas.
Run the ball, don't make stupid mistakes, and no turnovers.
And it's going to be led by that man right there. Andrew Sanborn had an incredible first half. We'll see if he can follow that in that second half. Now we're going to send it up to Cafone and the guys up in the booth. Anthony, take it away.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Connor. Guys, back here in the booth, Anthony Cafone, Brandon Masmarazzo, and Ryan White here. Getting ready for the second half action. 35-0 MSU at half. Impressive display of defense, special teams, offense. Everything is just clicking for Mike Palazzo's squad here in his second home game.
I mean, it's homecoming, and they're really showing out for it, putting on a show for the alumni, for the fans, for the campus. I mean, it's just been a breathtaking display, and maybe a coming out party for Andrew Sanborn. We've been hearing a lot about him. We've seen flashes, but is this the perfect game that he puts together? It's looking like it.
And you see, week by week, he's getting more and more comfortable. And for me, the first half story of the game was just Andrew Sanborn's efficiency in the way this offense was able to just operate on full, complete cylinders.
And then you saw the special teams block field goal, returned all the way back for a touchdown. Nick Burgess getting the pick six, the pressure that you've seen from Polly as well as Gashi. Young up the middle at the D tackle position has been playing really well. You had the pick on the outside by Sherrod Cooper. Everybody is doing their part today. It just seems like everybody on this team has a highlight play.
It's just been absolutely ridiculous right now. And I'll tell you, would you see him right now? Sanborn has highlights to remember in this one. The first homecoming game. I mean, it's just been absolutely electric for him. And the team all around. I know Palazzo's definitely happy with this squad. But the job's not finished yet, fellas. Still a whole nother half. Even though they have the 35-0, what do they got to do to close this one out?
You mentioned the job's not finished, and Connor just said they need to run the ball, no turnovers. So if they can milk the clock a little bit, just control the line of scrimmage and dictate the way this second half is played with a 35-point cushion, that should do enough. And on the other side, how do you guys think TCNJ can get back into this one?
I think, honestly, the main thing is getting stops on defense, quick stops, 3-and-outs, picks, trying to force turnovers, and then on the other end on offense, you got to just get the ball down the field and score as quick as possible. You can't waste time on these drives because the more you waste the clock, the more you're giving Montclair more time to eat away at the second half.
I think you got to see them go into the bag of tricks. I'm talking flea flickers. I'm talking bubble screens. I'm talking halfback screens. They have to get after it just anyway because right now just allowing the quarterback just in Bob to just drop back. He's taking too much hits. Montclair's seeing this. I mean, they're reading the script right in front of our eyes. You got to come out with something. We saw them go to a bunch of different formations. A speed option, a full house set. Something has to change.
So Montclair State won the toss, elected to receive to start the game. So that means TCNJ will get the ball first to start here in the second half. Casimir getting ready to kick off back deep for TCNJ. It'll be Vic and Schmidt again. And 35-0, second half. A squib kick here from Casimir. We played right back down by the 20, bouncing around, and it'll be picked up by Vic, and he'll be brought down right around the 31-yard line. A couple of tackles there for the Redhawks. You saw number 3 in there. That was Dylan Sharkey.
When that ball was first kicked, I thought it was looking like an onside kick, thinking Palazzo was getting a little aggressive on that one, but nice way of squibbing it.
I actually like the squib kick decision because when it's 35-0, you know someone's making it look a big play. That squib actually limits the playability of that returner and kind of narrows down the lane for him a bit. So it's actually a pretty safer option, and I liked it.
So here's Bob. Now a full package. Now sends his man Dzinski in motion, and he'll throw a bubble screen out to the outside, and Dzinski has some space to work with, and he'll get out to the first down, pickup of 11 yards. Nice design play, a little bubble screen in motion.
Like I said, you got to go to the tricks. It starts with those screens. It gets people with a little misdirection. It forces the defense, when they're too aggressive, to actually back off a little bit, and it gets some pressure off the quarterback, which they could use in the worst way.
So it'll be Bop again, and he'll hand it up the middle with Schmidt. As he'll bounce it forward, pick of about 5. Able to hit the second level, tackled in there. It looked like it was maybe Burgess on the tackle.
Great vision right there on the run from Schmidt. It was only 5 yards, but you saw his patience following his blockers and picks up a nice 5 yards.
And we have a Red Hawk down right around the 44-yard line. So we will stop play here for a little bit, but right out of the gates, you see TCNJ going a little bubble screen, little run action to get things going. But one big name that we really haven't seen in this TCNJ offense, only 1 catch for 9 yards. That's the tight end for TCNJ, Thomas Burke. Really haven't had him in a lot of sets. They've done him some one-on-ones, and Terrell's really locked him up on the outside.
JT Island, baby, that's what it's all about. There's a reason why he's got that nickname. For those of you that know, of course, one of the all-time greats in Darrell Rivas had that same kind of nickname, and there's a reason for it. Even though both of them have given up size at time, maybe even given up speed at time, the technique and the little things is what keeps them in the game, and you don't even want to go towards them because they make you pay every time you try to test them.
And it's also the ball instincts and the aggressiveness. When the ball is thrown, their eyes are always paying attention to the quarterback. And when you have the nickname, like you said, Maz, of an island as a DB, that is one of the top names you can receive in that position.
Well, you know, nothing happens within those island borders without JT saying so. So he's been getting after. As a player is back up on his feet.
It's Dorian Gashi, and able to walk off on his own power. That's a good sign. Hopefully he can return to this one. Gashi has had a really good game today on the defensive side of the ball for MSU. Has got in there on a few tackles, has created some pressure off that outside rush.
I'll tell you, I love his play style. It's almost like controlled chaos. It's not completely reckless, but he plays every down like it's his last down. And hopefully he can get back out there because you know that Montclair defense is going to miss him.
So Bob will play action fake here, looking left side for Dzinski. And that pass intercepted on the sideline, but out of bounds. Good coverage, and the ball was a little bit more off to the sideline. It was caught off the outside by, looked like, Terrell. And it'll be 3rd and 5.
Quarterback Bob has to be a little bit more careful on that throw right there. You don't want to force it. It was very close to being picked off. If he could have kept his feet in bounds.
The lack of urgency, I actually thought it was a play blown dead because everybody just kind of freeze for a moment.
3rd and 5. Bob rolling out right, looking downfield, caught on the sideline. Caught there by number 9, Jake McCown, and once again, TCNJ with their 2nd first down.
Yeah, but that's a nice route from McCown. He shakes the defender, and he gets into some open space. It makes it an easier throw for Bob. That's what this team needs to do. Somebody needs to get open. They gotta take the pressure off him.
Bob looking deep down the left sideline. McCown again, but this one's incomplete. Try to do the same exact play, but off to the other side. And McCown couldn't hold on.
That was a good ball by Bob right there. Gave McCown a chance to go up and grab it, and he just wasn't able to come down with it completely.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. It'll be Gill alone here on the near side, guarded by Cooper, with Schmidt in the backfield. 6-man front for MSU, but they'll back off. As Bob will look to run it himself on a QB draw, has some space and able to push forward for a pickup of 8. And both times they've run that QB draw, it's been there.
Especially as you see Montclair look to be the cover 4 there with both the 2 high safeties and the corners, giving a lot of cushion there. It's going to give some room, but still setting up a 3rd down situation. A little more manageable for TCNJ, but anytime you can get the 3rd down as a defense, it's a good situation.
Montclair State looking to bring pressure here on 3rd down. So far today on 3rd down, TCNJ is 1 of 5. That's a number that they need to get better if they want to get back in this game. Bob, 2 wideouts to the left side. Takes the snap, and he's going to speed option outside with Schmidt, who has a lot of space to run, has the 1st down and plenty more. Cuts back and inside of the 12-yard line. And a nice design read option there, and TCNJ is 1st and 10 inside the red zone.
That's just a great design there. And go into that bag of tricks, like we said. Go into that option play. It caught the defense lacking just a little bit. That pitch man, nobody's covering them because they were being so aggressive on coming in, trying to get the quarterback. They thought it was a pass.
So trips now left here for Bop on the left hash. One-on-one down at your screen, it's Burke. As play action, they go with screen route here. Caught and moving forward and picking up about 6 yards was Gill.
I like the way TCNJ has come out of halftime. They're being quick with decisions and they're moving the ball very nicely so far.
So it'll be 2nd and 3, and they can't waste any time. Only 3 minutes off the game clock so far. MSU's got to keep them on the field a little bit longer. As a quick route over to Burke on the right side, and a pass breakup by Jalil Terrell one-on-one against Burke.
I'm telling you, you don't want to test him. You're thinking that you have the size advantage. You think the big man can come down with it. But as you said, just like the guy that he's got the name after, it's the aggression, the hand fighting, the IQ, and the positioning.
Burke is 6'5", Terrell 5'10", a full 7 inches on him, but he's still able to make that pass break.
You would think that's an easy pickup, just throwing it up to your big and really good tight end, but no, it is a great defensive play.
Bop, play action, rolling out to his left, has pressure going back of the end zone for Burke. Did he stay in? No, incomplete.
You've got to be able to get a foot down there. College rules, you only need 1 foot in it, and that's definitely going to be a potential moment where TCNJ looks back and goes, we should have had this one, and I expect them to go for it here on 4th down. They've been rolling on offense since coming out of halftime, but they're down 35 points. The time is now if you want to get back into it.
TCNJ 0-2 on 4th down today. They've been stalled out in the red zone twice. As he takes a snap is low, trying to go back to the back corner, and it is incomplete. MSU with another stop on 4th down in the red zone. Defense continuing to bend, but not break.
You were right on that, Anthony. We've seen TCNJ go down the field on multiple occasions, but once they get into that red zone, Montclair State's defense has made things extremely difficult.
I think it's because this offense is so predicated on spreading things out, getting route concepts down the field. Once they get in those crowded spaces inside the red zone, it really limits your options.
Well, I think it's also just a testament to the speed of this defense, able to cover so much territory. You would think spreading things out, you get a little more of those favorable matchups, but you've got a high-powered defense that's able to match the speed. Good luck.
So right now it'll be Sanborn with 2 wideouts to either side. Takes a snap and he'll run it up the middle. Looks like Lewis. Lewis has some space off the right side, cuts back, has a 1st down. A flag flies towards the end of the play. Pickup of 13. It will be a 1st down for now. We'll see what the flag is. I think it'll be illegal formation against the Red Hawks and push it back 5 yards.
So we wait to figure out what's going on here. A little ref discussion.
We're holding against the offense. It'll stay 1st, and now it'll be half the distance to the goal. So it'll probably be about 1st and 14.
As we said, still a lot of game left in this one. You still got to keep that discipline. You can't be taken away from big plays like that.
That's the 8th penalty of the game against the Red Hawks. And I mentioned in the pregame, this is a team that leads the NJAC in penalties coming in today with 28. 103 average yards per game in penalties. So far today, it's been right around 83 yards in penalties. So even though they're winning 35-0, it's just another thing that they got to correct as the season moves along.
Well, and to be honest with you, the fact that they're giving up 103, last time I checked, it is 100.
So it'll be 1st and 14. Sanborn sending a man in motion. Looks to be on that wide side. Sanborn, play action, looking down the field, wide open and drops over the middle. Was looking for Clarence Wilkins, and Wilkins couldn't hold on.
Good decision and good ball from Sanborn. Clarence Wilkins just unable to make a good and strong hand catch in front of the defender.
Wilkins, they've been giving him that outside leverage. He's been able to run those little inside routes over the middle. As you see right here on your screen, the coverage by Jalil Terrell on Burke. A nice play there on the breakup.
But still, talking about Wilkins, we talked about it. They've been going with that short yardage for him, getting in that one-on-one matchup. I'm telling you, he can beat you down the side. That is an unlikely drop from him for sure. You know he wants that one back, but it's been those short routes that's been setting him up. I expect him to go deep a couple more times in this game.
Sanborn running it up the middle now. And a nice run, looked to be by Abijani Mendez. Picks up about 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 7.
So now this seems to be a situation where you let Sanborn roll out a little bit. You see if he can create anything with his feet. We know the arm's been getting the job done. Maybe some receivers coming across the middle of the field, try to find somebody on a rolling out play. And worst comes to worst, you got a punting situation.
Mendez still in at running back. Sanborn looking both ways. Maybe trying to get a guy to jump. Takes the snap. Rolling, looking left. It's complete over to the left side. It'll be Zach Lewis, and he has enough for a first down and plenty more. Caught around the 20-yard line. Picks up about 16 yards. 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks.
It seems like every time TCNJ seems like they're going to get a stop, Andrew Sanborn comes out and says, no shot, I'm going to deliver a dime and pick up this first down, just like he just did.
Another quality route, great separation, make an easy throw for the sophomore quarterback. Great job by this wide receiver corps tonight.
Sanborn now with 2 receivers at either side, Lewis in the backfield. Hands it up the middle to Lewis. Lewis trying to pound forward. Has about 2 yards. And I want to give a quick shout out right now to the offensive line today. The way they've been able to protect Sanborn in the backfield, and they've been able to get some push on these run plays. I mean, they've been playing, not only, what, 1 sack allowed now in the span of 14 quarters?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. You just took the thought right out of my head. I was literally just thinking about the amount of time that Sanborn had on that previous throw. And then to dominate at the line, they only got 2 yards on it, but it was a nice adjustment by the defense. But this offensive unit is just, in fact, that. A clear, united unit.
So trips wide out right here for Sanborn. As he looks left, originally looking for Wilkins on the curl button hook, and it's almost intercepted off the hands of Wilkins. And it looked for a second that Logan Flaherty got a hand on it, but it'll be incomplete.
That could have been costly for sure. That tip drill, Flaherty just wasn't prepared for it. That's on Wilkins there. He's got to bring that in, because I'll tell you, I counted about 4 Mississippis for Sanborn to have that throw in time right now. I mean, when he's got that, he's going to make something work, especially here at the collegiate level. I mean, 4 Mississippis barely ever happens.
Yeah, and Sanborn was a little late getting that ball out, had the pressure right there. If he had gotten that out a second sooner, maybe Wilkins doesn't get hit there. 3rd and 8. Sanborn going to throw the screen out to Wilkins. Wilkins has some space to run, trying to cut it back, and he's going to be buried after a gain of 3. That'll be 4th down, and more than likely the punting unit back on the field for the Red Hawks. As you see on our screen, hitting all 3 phases, scored touchdowns, special teams, offense, and defense. That's what this Red Hawk team has done today. Just an expressive performance. You rarely ever see that from a team. I want to know the last time they did that.
Yeah, I'm sure the crew could definitely figure that out for us. But fellas, I'll tell you right now, don't be surprised if they win the ball back on this punt the way that things have been going. I mean, they've been scoring everywhere else. Why not here?
Fitzpatrick's punt, high line drive. It'll be fair caught by Schmidt right around the 32-yard line. A nice punt, able to turn the field over. And that will leave the room back out for the Red Hawk defense.
TCNJ needs to find a way to get some points on the board. You're seeing the clock really start to tick now. It's in the middle of the 3rd quarter. You're down 35. It's starting to feel kind of unlikely at this point if you're not able to do anything or get any type of production here.
Well, you can't get all the way down to the red zone and not come away with points. I mean, granted, I don't want field goals here. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You need touchdowns, and I'm fine with the aggression, but you got to convert. You got to complete it off. You're getting all the way down the field, and they can't get in the end zone. They're the Dallas Cowboys.
Here's a run up the middle. Broncos are able to wall them off. Picking them about 4 yards, will be 2nd and 6. That was Amir Vick on the carry. And right now, you see this defensive front for MSU. They're able to climb up the running lanes. The outside corners have been doing a great job of limiting the damage over the top. It's been a complete performance today for the defense. Now Bob looking back to the sideline to That is audibles. They're just taking too much time off the clock trying to get this audible in. As they're going to bump Vic over to the right side. Montclair's there with a 5-man front. As they're going to play action fake, looking deep downfield. It is intercepted. Third of the game for Montclair State. Was intended all the way downfield for number 9, Jake McCown, and it was picked off all the way downfield, and Redhawks will have the ball back.
I believe, was that number 0? I'm not sure. I think that's either 0 or 8 down there. My eyes are deceiving me. I believe that's Nate Exel, the senior defensive back out of Oakland, New Jersey.
And Exel is the one that comes down with it now. 3 different Redhawks today with interceptions, Burgess, Cooper, and now Exel, and the Redhawks continuing to just get the ball back on their side.
Not a great decision from Bop either. It was not accuracy wasn't there as well. Just not what you need down 35.
Floated that one way too much too. You saw the help defense come over, and it landed in the help defense breadbasket.
So Sanborn will take over, hand up the middle to Abijani Mendez. Mendez able to break the first level, cuts back, spin move, and able to have enough for the first down. Pick up 12.
And fellas, we've been talking about this passing game the entire time, but I promise you, Abijani Mendez more than capable of making a giant play. I mean, there's some hard running backs for this Montclair State team, and they always just find a way to make a big play, especially Johnny Mendez. That spin move, absolutely deadly, will shake any defender in the NJAC.
And he only had 4 yards in the entire first half. They really kept him in check on only 3 attempts, but it was really the passing all throughout that first half that really floored TCNJ as the running game now starting to get going. Sanborn, screen out to the outside, Roger now with it, cuts back inside and over the 45-yard line, and he'll have close to a first down, pick up 9.
TCNJ has not adjusted at all in terms of stopping Montclair State's quick and short passing game. That's another small little out route that they get and pick up 8 yards on.
And we talked about the coming out party for Sanborn, but how about Roger now, as he's approaching that century mark and slowly getting there. Already has 2 touchdowns. Remember that long ball back in the first half for 48 yards. He's just been getting after it himself.
Yeah, he came into this game with 10 receptions, 113 yards, and a touchdown, and a really great slot receiver who has a lot of versatility and really giving Sanborn almost a safety blanket to throw to. Sanborn will play action fake, take it himself, and he's buried in the backfield. First sack of the day for TCNJ, and it'll be the linebacker Mateo Achoya there on the stop.
And, you know, sometimes the blitz just comes up the middle. The line has been doing a fantastic job. I'm not going to criticize them, that's for sure. Everybody gets a mulligan, but you can't have that happen. You've been protecting Sanborn all night. You got to get the job done.
I think that was the read option. It was intended to fool Achoya, but Achoya went right for Sanborn, who pulled it. So it'll be 3rd and 5. 3 wideouts out wide to the right. With Lewis now into pass protect. Sanborn coming up, trying to find it, and he's sacked again. This time is number 54, Dylan Pasher, the D tackle, in the 2nd straight sack after not giving up 1 for the first 40 minutes of this game.
Right there, Sanborn. You see him attempt to run up the middle, but once again, that TCNJ defense closes up quick and clogs the hole.
It's a great job by Pasher, too. Wasn't able to get too much depth of penetrating the offensive line. Plays that sweeper role, making sure that if Sanborn comes down, he's there to try to make the interception, and he does.
A fake punt here for the Redhawks, and it's buried as they attempted to fake it off to that right side with number 7, Alex Buchwald, and a 4th and 8 punt on your own side up 35. I don't know.
I appreciate the aggression, but gonna be honest, I think I would like to just see it. As before we go back to that interception, because that one was just floated up there, and a great interception coming from the secondary. But back to this game, talking about that punt, I don't really love it. Now you're giving TCNJ prime field position and a chance to get back into this one a little bit.
So 2 men in motion, Burke and Harbison. As Bop will play action fake, looking deep left over the middle, looking for Schmid, out of the reach, incomplete. Bob, that's just been the story of the game. On those deep throws, he's just putting a little too much on it. Doesn't have the touchdown feel.
Also, something to note is Burke, the tight end for TCNJ, seems to be blocking a lot more, and I think you just have to give credit to Montclair State. They're getting so much pressure, so they're using Burke's huge body to be another pass protector for their quarterback, but that is limiting them in the offensive passing game.
I'm going to give Bob some credit here. I thought that was a catchable ball. I think the wide receivers got to make a play.
As he throws it off to the right side here, as Jasinski's able to pick up about 6 yards and make it 3rd and 4.
Exactly what I'm talking about. A wide receiver's got to make the play. That was a really low ball, but that time the big fella able to go down low, scoop it, and turn what was looking to be an incomplete pass into a nice 6-yard gain.
And now back into the game at running back for TCNJ is Drake. As he'll take the handoff up the middle, trying to get that first down. He'll get it. And out to the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 again for the Lions.
Nice run by Drake, taking it to the right side and then cutting back and following his blocks. Great pickup.
Solid vision and fantastic patience to let those blocks develop and not be afraid to change direction. And just follow the open lane right to success.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Bop, with 2 wideouts out to the right side and 1 out wide left. As he'll hand it again with Drake up the middle, and he is swarmed for a gain of 2, as you saw the first hit there by Polly. Again, now they're clogging up the middle lanes, and I think it's really limiting this TCNJ pass, and I think that's what Montclair State's game plan was today, is just, we'll let you beat us by the run, by stopping up your pass. We'll lock up the pass, you have to beat us with the run, and that's exactly what they've been doing. Under 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Bob looking to the sideline, Burke in the game. Out wide here on the right side, it's Gill. As Jasinski out wide left. Sends Burke in motion. And a whistle here. And I think a timeout taken by the Lions.
It seemed like the Lions offense right there wasn't exactly sure what was going on. A couple players not looking towards the sideline and trying to figure out what was happening. I don't think they were all on the same page.
No, not at all. And
they have to burn a timeout now in the 3rd quarter, down 35.
It's the last thing that you want to do, but they sense that they can still get back into this one. The time is nowhere near their friend, but hey, we saw Montclair put up 35 in the first half. It can be done, but I mean, you've already chewed up a decent portion of this 3rd quarter. They need to strike here, and what Montclair has given them is really not much room to work with.
Mike Palazzo has really executed his game plan today. I think no one really expected Montclair State to come out and throw 25 times and only rush the ball 15 times. I mean, the disparity in this team, we've seen it all throughout this season, is they're a run-first team. To come out on this TCNJ defense and throw for 25 attempts, they've really kept them off balance.
I'm going to be honest with you, maybe they shouldn't be a run-first team. I mean, with what Sanborn's showing here tonight, maybe they should be looking a little more balanced. I think they have confidence in this quarterback. I think going into the upcoming weeks, we're going to see a lot more passing out of Montclair State.
As Bob will play action fake here to Schmidt, looking deep for Burke on the right side, out of bounds, and that pass was way out of bounds. Really not giving Burke any chance to catch that one.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Anthony. Just give your big tight end a chance. That was just yards out of bounds.
It just doesn't seem like his deep accuracy has really been there. He's trying to force those deep throws, and he's just putting too much on it.
The arm strength definitely there. I think that's the progression for this quarterback. It's just being able to nail home the target.
They're down now from TCNJ, and a jump in the front there. And it looks like it'll be against Arnold Young, and that's his 2nd offsides of the day. That'll bring up a 3rd and short. And they'll do a substitution here and bring in the D lineman Gabe Delachier.
Yeah, now that makes it a 3rd and short. Just got to clean up the penalties, but let's be honest, the way that this defense has been playing, I mean, we're just grasping at straws now.
So it'll be 3rd and 3 for this offense. Good job of using the hard count to their advantage to make it an easier attempt. Burke in the slot, Gill up wide, and then down at the bottom of your screen, it's going to be Jake McCown. And another whistle here. And another timeout taken by TCNJ.
I would have broke the headset on that one if I'm that head coach. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Being down 35-0 is really frustrating. Having to burn 2 timeouts this early in the third quarter. I mean, these are timeouts where if you get back into this one, and trust me, that is a giant hill to climb. But to have to burn those, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to have to get me a new headset at that point.
And on the same exact drive, too, in just a span of like 5-6 plays, they've called 2 timeouts. You need your offense to be more dialed in and know exactly what's happening.
I think it's just the effect this Montclair State defense has really put on them, the pressure, the different stunts they've been putting at the defensive line. You've seen it all day. They've been bringing 6 up, bringing a couple back, and it's really keeping Bob on his toes and really overthinking, and they've been having to use those timeouts now here in the third quarter. There's a man in motion, that's Gill. Bob will take the snap, hand it up the middle with Schmidt, and he is met at the line of scrimmage. And a huge stop for the Red Hawks. Right in front was Polly, and a flag flies after the play. I don't know about that one, ref.
You heard the whistle. You play to the whistle. You know I'm a big fan of Polly. I understand why they blew it. But I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm a head coach, that's a flag that I think I kind of live with most nights.
Polly met him at the line of scrimmage and buried him for no gain, and now TCNJ will have 1st and goal inside the 10. That flag was a little late, a couple seconds after the play.
He was driving him backwards for a few seconds, and just that last push at the end is what got the ref to do it.
It's the right call. I'm going to be honest, it's the right call.
I agree.
So it'll be 1st and goal now for Bob, with Schmidt to his left. Now we'll look back to the sideline. You got Dzinski out wide to the left one-on-one. As he'll play action fake here, looking left, trying to find the corner pylon, and he'll get down to the 1-yard line.
That is not a hit you want your starting quarterback to take. But he gets up and just absolutely fearless, this kid. Even with the interceptions, even with being down 35-0, getting up every down and still trying to get after it. It's very commendable in my book.
So it'll be 2nd and goal now from the 1. Try again here, Bob. Hands it off here with Schmidt, and he barrels in for the touchdown. TCNJ finally on the board. They now trail this one 35-6.
And a no-fly zone. Before tonight, MSU had 2 interceptions in 3 games. They got 3 interceptions tonight. However, fellas, that run just barreling in, and that's why you're seeing them go to the run. It's because of the interceptions. The run game getting it done.
So it'll be Wortman now to attempt the extra point. First time we see him today attempt a kick, and that one is good. It'll be 35-7 now, MSU TCNJ with their first scoring drive of the night. And you saw a little mix of the short passing game and finally going to the running game that helped them out. You saw they were mixing it up with Schmidt as well as Drake, and as well as Bob's going on with his legs as well. The run game really started to be utilized by the Lions.
You're right, and I think that if this game didn't get out of hand as early as it did, TCNJ would have been able to rely on the run game a little bit more and not go away from it like they've had to, because Schmidt on their team is one of the best players in space, and we've seen just a few instances where he can make a few guys miss, and he just got in right there.
Also, penalties a major factor in that drive. 3rd and 6, and you saw the offsides jump there by Young, and then the push at the end there by Polly, giving them 15 more. And that's the little things that, if this game were closer, Coach Palazzo needs to get a grip on that.
So now, 35-7, the goose egg, no more. 4-score game. But maybe 7 years ago to get back into this one.
So it'll be Wortman to kick this one deep for Ramos and Mendez. It'll be fielded by Ramos at the 15-yard line. And an underround here as they give it off to McCurdy, and McCurdy is buried inside there by Ryan McKinney.
Montclair State now on back-to-back special teams plays, some questionable decision-making / calls. Not sure. You have a big lead. That could have been very dangerous as well.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. They're breaking out the bag of tricks, and I think that's what TCNJ needs to be doing. Both teams are kind of swapping positions here, as TCNJ should be doing plays like that, and Montclair State should be cruising on the conservative side.
I see why you would pull it out, because maybe the other TCNJ wouldn't expect it, but with that big of a cushion, it doesn't seem like it's worth it, in my opinion.
High risk, high reward, but you don't need to take the risk.
So it'll be Sanborn now, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. As he hands it off with Lewis, and Lewis able to break the second level. He's got space, and there goes Lewis, past the 40, the 50, the 45, and out to the 40-yard line and lowers the shoulder.
How about that? Henry Lewis has just been waiting to find the open hole and let him get unleashed. And then, after picking up the giant gain, sees the contact and says, I can go out of bounds. Not today. Lower the shoulder, get this contact, young man. Yes, sir.
44. So down to the 44-yard line of TCNJ, brings up another 1st and 10 for Montclair State, and the longest run of the day for the Redhawks.
Yeah, I got an intro to accounting, fundamentals of accounting with that, man. I don't know how he's going to be able to add up the numbers after delivering hits like that, because everybody's got a headache after one of those.
Sanborn takes a snap up to Lewis again. Lewis able to break the first level, has the first down, and barrels forward.
Just the way Lewis is finishing his runs after contact, taking defenders with him, just unreal stuff.
Now he has 5 attempts for 68 yards, averaging close to 13 yards a carry when they get him in that second level.
And after taking the hit, he's able to remain balanced and stay on his feet and fall forward too. It's exactly what you want to see from a running back, always falling forward.
So McCurdy entering the game for Nelson, as Montclair State will let this play clock trail off. I think they're going to take a timeout here. So first timeout, actually, I think they're going to take it to the end of the third quarter, and that'll do it for quarter number 3. Montclair State 35, TCNJ 7. And another impressive quarter. TCNJ able to get the touchdown to break the shutout. But Montclair State doing a good job of really running the ball there with Henry Lewis.
And fellas, they've just really, truly been getting after it. We go back to this touchdown here for TCNJ. Halfback taking it, getting that nice 2-yard run, taking Montclair's best defender into the end zone with him.
That was Schmidt on the touchdown for the year for him. He's been really impressive today in the passing game as well as the receiving game. So far, you talk about his receiving way. He's had 2 touchdowns receiving on the season and a touchdown on the ground as well. So 4 total touchdowns for Jason Schmidt this year, and he's emerging as the top back in this Lions offense.
So, fellas, as we head to the fourth quarter, Ryan, anything that's surprising you about this game?
You mean in like the second half or first half?
All of it.
I think just the offensive explosion and just the way that the confidence that Sanborn has played with as opposed to some of the other weeks has been just so amazing to see, especially as a young quarterback. This is his 4th start with the program, and he looks like he's been playing in this system for years now tonight.
So Sanborn here on 1st and 10 from the Lions' 28-yard line. Lewis still in the game, having a great drive right now. Sanborn, play action fake, and he's going to give it off to Lewis. Good sell job there by Sanborn. Really got the linebackers moving the other way, but Lewis able to pick up a few.
Hey, that's what happens when you got that dual threat quarterback. You always just got to keep that corner of the eye on him, making sure he's not sneaking off and gaining yards behind your back.
They've been running that read option a lot today, getting Lewis out in some space, getting Sanborn out in some space on the sideline. On a few RPO actions today. Playbook's definitely evolved as this season has gone along.
It's like a Pokemon in its final form. It just keeps on leveling up.
So it'll be 2nd and 9. Sanborn gives it off to Mendez, cuts back and able to pick up a few yards on the ground and make it 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 7.
Although Mendez wasn't able to completely get past that tackle, you can just see his quickness and how fast he can switch direction. Just to able to jump inside like that was super impressive.
His ability to work with nothing is just absolutely stupendous. I mean, just so quick, so shifty, the vision top notch. If only he had just a little bit more room to run, you know he's breaking one.
Trips out wide right for Sanborn. As he takes the snap, he's going to throw it off to the right side, and it's caught on a double catch and going to the end zone. Touchdown, Keyshawn McCurdy. What concentration to keep that in his hands and go all the way to the end zone. 26 yards for the score.
Didn't happen. I can't believe that was a catch. You got to be kidding me. I was just absolutely faked out. Almost as if you had a Henry Houdini showing his prime. How did he catch that? How does he end up in the end zone? I still have no clue. I cannot wait to see the replay on that one, Ryan.
It looked like Vito Finetti, the defensive back for TCNJ, was going to jump that route, but Sanborn put enough speed on that ball to get it there just in time. But a tremendous catch to juggle it and turn around and turn upfield. Just wow.
The last time we seen concentration like that, Einstein came up with that E equals MC squared.
Keyshawn McCurdy, the sophomore out of Orange, New Jersey. An impressive touchdown catch there. His first career touchdown catch.
Yeah, no, we got to see that one again, fellas, for sure. I have no clue how he caught that.
And as great as the catch was, to be able to fit that ball in just before the defensive player was able to get there was some very great accuracy and enough speed on the ball to get it there.
4th touchdown pass of the day for Andrew Sanborn. He's eclipsed now over 200 yards passing on that play. Completion percentage at 76.9. Just an impressive performance today from the sophomore QB.
What more can you say about the kid? He's a true talent. He's been getting after it, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. And just like that, back to a 5-score game.
So Casimir to kick this one off. And it'll be played deep by Vic. Vic crossed the 20, able to punch forward past the 30-yard line to the 32. Late shove there at the end. You saw Lion hit the ground. No flags fly. The TCNJ offense back on the field with 3:15 to go in the 4th quarter.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Still 13 minutes left, 42-7. But I remember pregame, our host Matt and Connor brought up the 1941 game where Montclair State won 56-7, I believe. And it was Matt saying, I don't know if they could replicate that. It might be a little different. And it is looking pretty similar to that so far.
As Bob, play action fake, has pressure in his face. He's going to go deep downfield. One-on-one and a catch brought down by the wide receiver TJ Sheehan here on the near side and gets down to the 41-yard line.
That one was put right in the money, only where his wide receiver can get it. And I looked at it, I was like, oh man, he hung another one, but he shut me up. He put that right where it needed to be, a perfect pass.
Drake in the game here as Bop will hand it off to Drake, cuts out left, able to find some space and brought down inside by number 97, Mohamed Abadrabo.
Abadrado lost his helmet on that one. He's going to come out for a play, but just shows the toughness of this Montclair team. He literally made that tackle by grabbing the arm and willing his way down there.
As we see right now, this is the throw outside. Keyshawn McCurdy with great concentration makes the catch down the sideline. Now back to the action. Bop deep downfield. Incomplete. A little bit of contact there by Cooper, but no flags are flown.
That's one of the craziest catches I've ever seen going back to that replay, fellas. But nonetheless, still some time left in this one.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 40 for the Lions as Bop trying to get this team back down the field. It's been a mixed bag. You saw that long catch before by Sheehan so far today for him. Really hasn't been as much involved in this offense as you want him to. 2 wideouts here on the left side, sends a man in motion. That's Gill. And false start here as you saw the right tackle, right guard, both move. was Pete Sedano as well as Jack Centrelli, both moving on the offensive line. So we push back 5 yards, make it 3rd and 15.
Just like one of those old 1960s cars. They're running smooth, it's looking great, but that time the timing belt a little messed up and the Pistons misfiring.
And for all, even though TCNJ is down so much, they've been keeping penalties in check, and that's the one thing that we talk about with this team. They're able to keep the penalties in check, and that's what's always consistently been well. As Montclair State bringing pressure, Bop has to run out of the pocket, and he goes down, but not before he gets the ball off. It'll be incomplete, looking for Schmidt, but pressure right there from both sides as it looked like Adonis May was in there creating pressure.
Easier said than done, but I think if Bop is able to take a few steps forward in that situation instead of running backwards, it would have made things a little bit better. It was pressure off the edge on that situation.
It was Andrew Vernieri there creating pressure to make it 4th and 15.
Rob, I'm going to be honest with you. I might have just dropped the ball and just curled up into a little ball because there was a lot of pressure there.
For sure.
Not much he could have done with that.
For sure. I'm just giving a different option that could have been better.
For sure. For sure. And listen, he had the halfback there.
4th and 15. Bob looking deep down the field for Gill. Has position but broken up. Jalil Terrell there on the coverage.
Bob took a bop on that one. Just an absolute crushing blow coming from the defensive lineman as he uncorks that one. I am feeling for this young man.
He has taken an absolute beating, and let's give some credit to these Montclair State DBs. They're, every jump ball, it seems like they're winning so far or throughout this entire night.
It's been a great day for the defense. You want to talk about pass breakups. It's been, talk about 8 pass breakups tonight, 3 interceptions in the secondary. It's been a great day for this Montclair State backfield on the defensive side.
And it's obviously a mix. When you have that front 7.
Yeah, Sanborn now out of the game. They'll bring in Aiden McLaughlin, and his most single-game touchdowns this season, which was 4, and his most single-game passing yards, and his night is now over as they hand it now up the middle as a pickup of about a few yards, as it'll be number 23, Dan Ramos, the brother of Mike Ramos, getting a few yards there.
And going back to what I was saying, those 8 pass breakups and 3 interceptions, when you have a front 7 that's putting that much pressure on an offense, it makes the DB's job even better. As well as they're playing, it just makes it so much easier for them.
So it'll be 2nd and 6. McLaughlin now in the game. Been in this program for a few years and now getting his first chance in the 2023 season to do some damage. And a little flinch at the line of scrimmage. TCNJ pointed out right away. I think it's going to go against number 64, Cameron Seibert. It's going to push back 5 yards.
You know, I do got to say, though, I do love the decision to go to the backups here for both the running back and the quarterback. Both of them were quality athletes in their own right, but no sense of leaving the starters out there. The damage has already been done. The job, the win, looks to be firmly secured for Montclair State. And why not get some more experience out there for players, get some different looks.
So McLaughlin with Ramos to his left, 3 wideouts to the left side. 4-3 look here for TCNJ. McLaughlin airing it out deep downfield to the right side, wide open and just missed. Was looking for DJ Willis here on the near sideline.
He had him beat. Willis had a few steps, and that was a great route. Just a couple yards out in front.
Make it 3rd and 10 now for MSU. But Aiden McLaughlin showing off the arm there, able to dial one up.
Hey, you know, he did it last season too. We saw him get some playing time. I mean, he's got some giant arm talent. So why not let him loose and see what he can do?
So it'll be 3rd and 10 for McLaughlin. Trips left here. Loading up the line, TCNJ, they're gonna run up the middle, cut back, and a pickup of about 3 yards. It'll be 4th down.
That was very close to being a big gain for the Redhawks as TCNJ blitzed off the left side and they ran it to the right.
That was Kaishir Desir on the carry. So 4th and 8, and that'll bring out the punting unit and Michael Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick with 2 punts already on the day. And both averaging around 37.5 yards in this timeout taken by MSU before the snap.
Just want to go back real quick with McLaughlin. We saw 4 attempts from him last year. 3 of those on target, threw for 99 yards. I mean, this is a kid who, yes, he is a backup, but I really don't think we've seen him unleashed. You know, has that big arm talent, but the way that Sanborn's playing, I understand.
It's great to have confidence in both your quarterbacks, so just see what he can do. But the mechanics look great. He's got good height. He looks like a quarterback down there. It's looking good for the Redhawks in that QB room.
He was a part of that 3-man quarterback battle with him. Starter last year, Mason Murdoch as well. It was just a great race, and I think Coach Plaza told me that was the race that really brought out the best in all 3 of them. As Fitzpatrick here to punt. Almost tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bounce forward, roll right around the 20-yard line, and rolls out to 19. So the punt will be averaged right around 28 yards.
Surprised we didn't get a fake punt or something different on that one, right?
Yeah, the last few special team misdirection plays by Palazzo, but chooses to punt right there. So that's where TCNJ will take over, right around the 19-yard line for Bop. Actually, it'll be a new quarterback now. It'll be Steven Begin.
Well, same reason, too. This one's all but over. No sense of getting your starter hurt. He's already took a lot of licks today. Let's see his back.
We'll do a design quarterback draw as right there it was Burgess on the tackle.
That's exactly the kind of hit you don't want your starter taking. You don't want any player taking.
As a pick of about 5 yards on that one, Burgess a little shaken up as he gets to his feet. As Burgess will exit the field, and that'll bring in Alfred Woods. So it'll be 2nd and 5 for TCNJ. Moskowitz with the 3-man line. As Begin rolling out left, he'll dump it off here in the flat and brought down right away as he was able to complete it over to Matt Harbison. MSU able to get to the ball quick and tackled there by Chris Bukta. So it'll be 3rd and 1.
I gotta say that is a nice job there by the DB, the one that came on the cleanup hit. I believe it was number 27, Amari Wilmore, as that would have surely been helmet to helmet, but he edges off just a little bit, still able to make his impact, but does it in a clean way. Nice job.
So 3rd and 4 now for Begin. Sending his man in motion, it's Gill. Keeping 2 wideouts to that wide side. And he's gonna run it up the middle, and enough for a 1st down as TCNJ able to pick up 3 there. As everyone's slow to get up, that was carried there by Vic. At Montclair State, we talked a lot about Coach Palazzo and how his story is really developed. A former player here at MSU, first a student assistant, then he played, and then of course he went to Towson for a year, was on the coaching staff beforehand, came back as the defensive coordinator, and now here as the head coach. I mean, talk about a journey like that and the way he has really gotten this team to really play under him and really fight for him as you've seen here tonight.
It's a great story. We saw with that amazing feature pregame, and when I first heard that he was sleeping in his office at Townsend, that just shows the dedication that this man has and just how much drive he has to be able to keep going and keep leveling up all the way to becoming the head coach of his alma mater.
Well, fellas, the bird left the nest and he came back a Red Hawk.
Good one.
Just saying, I mean, to come back home, to put on a display, a 42-7 in his first homecoming game at the helm of this. Of course, we know he was the associate head coach. He's just been climbing the ranks. This is a guy that gets after it. It's all for me, though. It's the culture that he's building. I mean, there's coaches that are good at very things, but Palazzo has these guys willing to run through a wall for him, you know? And they be getting after it in all facets. The level of competition just really be getting after it. I mean, how do you want it, man? They're able to give it.
And when you really get to know Palazzo and speak to him, you can just tell, just from his presence, that he is a grinder, and that's one of the biggest things I admire about him as a coach.
So 8:08 left to go. TCNJ just burned their last time out. Now back out here is Began, as he likes to run this one up the middle on the RPO. Pick up about 5 yards. It'll be second down. It's carried up the middle there by number 5, Matt Harbison.
Some nice hard running. They could have got this going just a little bit earlier. Maybe it's a different fate, but I don't know. Montclair has just made electric play after electric play. I doubt that would even be true.
Second down. As play action fake here for Began. He's going to find out in the flat, find Harbison. Harbison able to go forward. Had all that space at the right side, but he went to go take contact. And then right there is Andrew Vernieri on the tackle.
Talk about getting low on that one. So the running back trying to initiate the contact, but it's the linebacker changing levels and coming up with a great tackle, Batista style, spine buster.
You know what they say, the lower man always wins, and that's what we just saw right there.
It's all about leverage. 3rd and 1. Montclair State showing blitz as Began looks back to the sideline. As he'll take the snap and almost loses the football, but able to run it up the middle with Vic, and Vic has the first down. So pick up about 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 10, right around the 46 of TCNJ.
Just old-fashioned running right now. Unfortunately, it's going to chew up a lot of clock on them. They got some things working for them, but as we said, just too much too late.
Montclair showing blitz off that outside with Sharkey as Began looking deep downfield, testing Cooper, but that looked like a flag there as some contact with Gill. And Cooper's going to get called for the pass interference.
Yeah, you know, too much contact there. I saw the wide receiver possibly initiate it a little bit for me, but nonetheless, the offensive player is always going to get the benefit of the doubt. The flag comes out, 15 yards against the defense.
So TCNJ going to move 15 more yards up the field with 6:32 left to go in the 4th quarter. As we look ahead now for Montclair State, after this one, it's a meeting with the crosstown rivals in Union against Kane. At Union on October 7th should be another great rivalry game for Montclair State.
And this is where the season starts. We talked about it a little bit pregame. You kind of can wipe out your record once you get into conference play, and that's another conference matchup that is just as important as this one. And it's probably even more important as the season goes on, actually.
You got that right for sure. You're going to be playing programs like Salisbury, like Christopher Newport, like Rowan. You got to get these wins early, build up that confidence. We know that they're not lacking in that for sure right now. But it's just makes the team a little bit more sharper for those games. And who knows, the way that this Montclair team is playing, they'll beat anybody.
As McKinney there with the catch, picked up about 5 yards. And they have a date to play the second-team All-NJAC quarterback, Robbie Nungesser, who, if you remember last year, made that great comeback here at Sprague Field against Montclair, and maybe a little chance of redemption against Kane. Montclair was up 10 points in that game, and they came back, and now it's time for MSU to regain that. As that pass over the middle is caught, as Began is able to find Gill over the middle of the field, pickup of about 30 yards, be 1st and goal inside the 10.
Well, we know that Montclair lost to TCNJ the last 2 times that they met. They've already corrected that one here. Could this potentially be the revenge tour for the Redhawks?
It definitely could, and something that I think goes unnoticed is this coaching staff is basically the exact same as it was with Coach G the last few years, and these coaches really know so much about this team and who they've lost to and just all about it, and just keeping that same core is really key.
Well, you know, we've talked about it. Coach G building the foundation for what is Montclair State football. All of these guys under him for quite some time.
As Began play action fake, had pressure in his face, able to dump it off the Harbinger. And he gets dropped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And a lot of times when there's a new head coach, I'm not saying they'll wipe out the staff and bring in every or all new guys, but just the way Coach Palazzo has kept a lot of the same ideas and morals, and it just keeps you aware of.
The keep pounding slogan is still a big thing in this program.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be 2nd and goal now from the 11. As Began will take it himself off the read option, and he has dropped for no gain. Be 3rd down.
I'm going to be honest with you, fellas. It's easy for a program. Let's be honest. The last year for Montclair State football, not the ideal way for them. However, it's easy to, when your legendary head coach is going to step down after 40 seasons, to go out there and let's go get the nicest record out there, the shiniest record out there. Montclair State says, we know we got the guy right here. It's Mike Palazza. He's a part of the culture. He enhances the culture. He is the culture, and he's been doing a great job his first couple of games here.
Began rolling out left on third down, trying to go for that back corner, but incomplete. It was a nice throw on the run, just couldn't really get it there. And it'll be fourth down as he was trying to find that back corner of the end zone. McCown.
Yeah, it was a good decision. Just put too much air on it. It just didn't get there in time into the back of the end zone.
So it'll be 4th and goal again. And we all know how TCNJ has really fared today in the red zone. Not really their best. Only 1 touchdown drive. And that was a big thing that they were really good at coming into today. As a team, they were 3rd in the NJAC in offensive red zone. 8 for 10 on attempts, and today Montclair State's red zone defense has come up huge. 4th down. Pump fake here, and they're gonna try to go over the middle. Began incomplete. Was looking for Gill in the slot, but had no real room to get that pass in. Another turnover as the Redhawks again in the red zone, continuing to play well. Another stop.
And, you know, TCNJ doesn't get that one, but I think they've identified the places where they need to get better. Coming into this game, if you looked at the statistics, they actually had a slightly better edge of converting on 4th down than they did on 3rd down. It's the 3rd down that they have trouble with. It's the red zone that they just need to clean up just a little bit more. These are things that are very much fixable, especially with a disciplined squad like this. But tonight's just not their night. Montclair soaring high. And it is what it is, but both these teams, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond moving forward the rest of the season.
McLaughlin now back out there, takes the snap, fakes the pitch, and going to run it up the middle. And he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a yard. It'll be 2nd down. Brought down inside there by number 11, Brandon Coos.
Coos making a nice read on that. As you saw, the fake toss juked out some players. But nonetheless, quarterback gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it keeps the clock ticking, more importantly, while securing that ball.
So 2nd down, 3 wide outs out to the right side. McLaughlin trying to get the hard count. As he'll run it up the middle and pounding forward for a few yards there was number 29, Kashir Desir. 3rd down. And moving forward, you look at TCNJ after this one. They go back home to Ewan to take on Rowan in another rivalry game in the NJAC for them. And you got to imagine you got to look for that bounce back. They scored 9 points last week against Franklin and Marshall, 10 the week before against Muhlenberg. You just got to get more points on the board for this offense.
The good thing for TCNJ, it is still early in this season. You can still change the narrative and improve on how you started. So that is one thing you can take with you.
Only going down 0-1 in the NJAC. I mean, big bounce back game versus Rowan could be on the menu, but it's going to take one good week of practice and fantastic execution.
McLaughlin able to get that completion out in the flat, pick up about a yard. As the 4th down now comes back, there's 25 there on the catch. It was Rakeem Ross. It'll be 4th down, the punting unit back out for MSU. So now it'll be Fitzpatrick to punt out of his own end zone. As a penalty at the line of scrimmage and an offsides as CCNJ jumped, and now you're giving Montclair a chance at a 4th and manageable, but I don't think they're going to take it.
Yeah, no need to take the risk. I mean, the job's done, 42-7. What a breathtaking display. I mean, up and down the board. The defense, the offensive line, the running backs, Sanborn, the wide receivers, and the special teams units. I mean, this was a complete display. You know, the team and the coaching staff are going to be celebrating this win in a big way.
Fitzpatrick punts it towards midfield to be fair caught at the 47-yard line by Schmidt. And without leave, about 1:46 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Montclair State 1:46 away from their first NJAC win since November 6th of 2021.
It's been quite some time, but what a fashion to get back after it. I mean, especially with a rivalry that runs this deep. talk about the years. As we said, the only thing stopping these two, a global pandemic and a world war, to get back in the win column in this kind of fashion, it's definitely going to keep them riding high. But like I said, knowing this team, it's going to be short-lived.
As Began rolling out those right was facing some pressure. He's going to throw across his body, nearly intercepted, but a good pass breakup in the secondary. It'll be second down.
So as I was saying, it's going to be short-lived for the sole fact if this team gets back to work. Our boy Joe Forbes helps out this squad as a
student assistant.
Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. Last time out, we were able to catch dinner real quick. Forbes had to get back to go break down film. I'm hoping they give him off the night, but knowing this squad, they'll be right back after it tomorrow, breaking down film and getting ready for the next matchup.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 47. Began had a good drive his first time out there, went all the way down inside the 10. As he's looking right here on this pass, finds in the flat. It's Burke finally getting involved in the passing game, and he has about 15 yards in the first down. That's just something we haven't really been seeing, is the utilization of Burke, the reigning NJAC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, if TCNJ, they would have liked to start off a little bit differently in this game and get him more involved. He really is their playmaker and just difference maker.
1st and 10 now for the Lions. Began looking again on the right side. They're going to find Burke on the same route concept, and he picks up about 4 yards. Clock will continue to run. And you can say that they've really been guarding the flats really well, and TCNJ has been getting those short pass concepts out in the flats. They've really been able to cover it.
Yeah, but speaking of being covered, I mean, Terrell covered the big man all night long.
Began facing pressure, facing a pass downfield, incomplete. Good coverage there. Al Woods was back in that back third, and it'll be 3rd down.
Good swat by Woods. It got to the receiver's hands, but as soon as it touched him, swatted it out the back of the end zone.
So 3rd and 7 for Began. Defense now with a 3-man front. 2 wideouts off to the left side. Facing pressure again, 6-man rush. Began under pressure, gonna fire out in the flat. Has his man, a pickup of a 1st down out to the 20-yard line. That was number 0, Ryan McKinney, making it happen with his legs.
You gotta give it to this TCNJ squad. I mean, still coming at this point in the game, still showing off the passion to play. I mean, kudos to them.
There's 43 seconds left on the clock. Began trying to fire one deep downfield, has his man, incomplete. I don't think Jasinski was ready for it. He was wide open that back of the end zone.
Yeah, you could see him kind of turning his head and looking for it. I don't think he was able to locate it either.
So now 1 more shot to really, my apologies, 2 more shots to really make something happen.
So it'll be 2nd down now. As Began now with 2 wideouts to either side. He's going to fire it deep downfield, looking in the end zone. Almost caught again. Was looking for number 13, TJ Sheehan. But again, Montclair State, they've been protecting that back third. 2 DBs are always back there.
So no fly zone tonight, that's for sure. As we said, coming up with 3 interceptions, this defense. I mean, they've just been taking the ball away left and right. They've been playing bully ball back there.
They forced 30 incompletions today. Began facing pressure, just fired over the middle. McKinney has the 1st down inside the 10, cuts back into the 5, and down to the 3. McKinney out of the backfield doing what he can on that little Texas route. 1st and goal from the 3. 15 seconds on the clock. Began. He's going to fumble the ball. It's on the ground, but he's able to fall back on it. Little miscommunication there on the mesh with the read option as Began was trying to pull and McKinney thought he had it. As the time will run out, and that'll do it. Montclair State gets their 1st NJAC win since 2021. They beat TCNJ 42-7, a complete performance. Offensive touchdowns, defensive touchdowns, special teams touchdowns. Anything they needed to do, they got it done today, and they are riding high 1-0 in the NJAC.
There's so many different things we could talk about from this game for Montclair State. But for me, it was just really, I can't state it enough, the party of Andrew Sanborn, the coming out party of him and their new quarterback, just the efficiency, the timing, the accuracy, everything was there for him. He was in complete control of this game.
I'm going to be honest with you. Special teams, getting them going early. I will give credit where it's due to Sanborn. Fantastic. Wide receivers, fantastic. Offensive line, phenomenal. Defensive unit, both secondary linebackers and the offense of the defensive line. All of them fantastic. But it was the special teams that lit the ignition to get this one going. It was absolutely fantastic. Talk about a complete performance. Everybody always forgets about them. I'm shouting out that special teams unit. They did a phenomenal job of lighting this spark, and the rest of the team kindling that fire and setting a blaze to the Lions.
It was really that first quarter where the Red Hawks, the opening drive touchdown, then the field goal block, then the pick six. When you jump on a team that quick, 21-0 in the first quarter, it is very, very tough to make a comeback in that setting, and Montclair State made it very difficult.
It was that 48-yard touchdown reception from Anthony Roger, who fought for that touchdown right at the 1-yard line, and Nick Burgess with the pick six, and then, of course, Jaden Brimage getting that scoop and score off the block kick. This team played a complete 4 quarters. They looked near perfect. This is the unit that Mike Palazzo dreams of. And on homecoming night, as you see the highlights here, as this is the catch from Roger. You saw him go down the sideline, had some space, able to really dodge that tackle and just really reach over and get it off the tackle attempt from Maurice.
Team's still celebrating, man. It was absolutely fantastic.
And here's another look at that blocked field goal. What a spark this was, taking it all the way to the crib. And to just jump on a team 14-0 is just, in that fashion, such a...
It's just absolutely fantastic. And then we look to the tip drill, and the new Asian Zero, they call him Asian Zip, Nick Burgess taking it all the way back, says, not today, big fella, get off me. Whoever that was, I believe that was the wide receiver, as he stiff arms him into the ground.
And then here's Sanborn again, rolling out left, eyes downfield, able to get that pass, almost sidearm action. Roger laying out for it for his second touchdown grab.
Sanborn again dropping a dime on the slant to Clarence Wilkins, winning one-on-one.
And now you see the big pass deflection coming from JT Island with the big man on him in a much-needed situation, saying, get off me.
And then right here, you see rolling out was Bob trying to go deep downfield, and then another interception and double coverage. That pass attempt really wasn't the best there from Bob, but MSU able to capitalize and get the pick.
Just celebrating every play when they can.
And here's TCNJ's first touchdown of the game. Schmidt takes the handoff and gets in for the 1-yard score.
His ability today was really apparent. He was their best player on offense.
And now, again, you look at this big run from the running back from Montclair State. Of course, Henry Lewis doing some work, inviting contact at the end of it, putting the exclamation point on the play.
Yeah, Lewis really did well in that second half. And then right here, Sanborn looking right away. And what a catch from Keyshawn McCurdy. Double caught it and able to stay in bounds and go down the sideline for the last score of the day for MSU. 42-7 the final. Montclair State beating TCNJ. Trevor Bopp 20 of 44 for 208 yards, 3 picks. Andrew Sanborn 20 of 28, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. An impressive performance from Sanborn. It was his coming out party day for MSU.
This really was just a great homecoming debut for Mike Palazzo and this football team. Many players on this team really needed this win. There's been a couple homecomings in a row without one. Just an all-around phenomenal performance.
So for Anthony Cafone, Brandon Masmarazzo, Ryan White, and everyone here at Homecoming, special thank you to everyone in the control room and cameras, operators on the field. We love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out here, and thank you so much for listening. We're going to send it to Matt Boucher and Connor Cupin at the studio show. Guys, tell us what you think.
Really great stuff, guys. Cafone, Ryan White, Maz, great job in the booth. 42-7 final score, and we're joined with a very special guest, Brendan Ray, a guy that knows something about good defense. Brendan, what did you see out there?
Man, they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, that's Montclair State football at its finest. And they popped out in the black uniforms, classic. We talked about that for a couple years, and we like to call that a murder scene. That was amazing. They did what they were supposed to do. Love my defense.
So, Brendan, now as a safety, your former running mate, Mike Ramos, a coach on this Montclair State team. How does that make you feel? Do you ever think you'd be saying so fast, now the guy I was doing it for years with is now one of the coaches?
It's pretty crazy, and I was talking to a couple of people outside today. This is the first safety group that's replacing me and Mike in 4 or 5 years almost. So it's pretty special to see that, and then Mike be able to guide them through that process of being the next safety group. So seeing Mike on the sideline brings me energy because he has so much love for the game, and he taught me everything I know about, and that's one thing that not a lot of people know. He taught me a lot about football and brought a different side out of me. So Mike is doing amazing, and as a coach, keeping the standard, holding the standard.
And this is the first homecoming under the new regime of Coach Palazzo. What are your thoughts on his job today?
Mike's been doing, and I can call him Mike now because
Yeah.
I'm graduated, but Coach is doing a great job. I mean, he is doing exactly what he has wanted us to do for the longest time, as far as having a culture and standard. He did a lot of work over at Army, learning how they teach and create a culture, and has brought that over here as far as creating his own style as well. So he's taught these kids how to be not only great men, but also leave it out all in the field. And I think we've been lacking in that in the past couple of years. But this year, it just seems so different under Mike Palazzo's hands. He's doing what Montclair State is known for.
So now,
Coach Palazzo. We have Coach Palazzo here.
There he is. I mean, this
Coach,
guy,
Coach, come on.
This guy knows
Get up here.
This guy's doing exactly what he's supposed to. Yeah, you're right here. You're right here. We're just talking about you, actually.
Yeah, me? Coach, first homecoming, dominant win. Talk about it.
Not bad. We made a lot of mistakes I'm not happy about. So I know the scoreboard looks good, but we still have a lot to clean up, and we have a big game next week. So I'm on to the next one.
Yeah, Sanborn looked really good. Over 3 touchdowns. What do you think about his play today?
He's playing well. He's getting comfortable. It's his 4th start in college, so he's starting to feel the offense a little bit, and I think he's going to continue to get better.
today, every phase of the game was working well. Offense scored touchdowns, defense, and even special teams. How important is it that every single phase of the game is clicking and all on the same page?
Yeah, I talked to the team all week about putting a complete game together, and we played good in spots the first 3 games, but we haven't been able to put it all together. And this week we finally had a game where all 3 phases played well all throughout the game. And if I didn't call a fake punt there, we probably would have had a shutout, so that's on me.
Everybody showed out today. The entire community was here. How much does that mean to you?
Football brings people together. And when football's doing well, it's going to bring more people out. So I'm excited about the future of this program, excited about this university, and how it's going to support football, and I think we're going to continue to get better and better.
And Nick Burgess, sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah.
Nick Burgess had another pick 6, just like last year at homecoming. You talk about his play.
He played well. I don't know if you have enough room on the stage for his head.
He's next. He's next. Come on.
Yeah,
come on up.
I don't know if he's going to have enough room on the stage.
I'm proud of you, bro.
So Nick Burgess, another pick 6. It seems like every time that we have a homecoming game, you're just a lock for a pick 6. Talk about the game today and the fans and everything.
Man, it was electric. It was so important that we responded this week. We had campus rallying behind us, so it was so important to have fun and just do our job every single play, execute. That was so important this week.
Now leading the team with 12 tackles today. Seeing you have a nose for the ball there, what's your hidden talent there? How are you able to just find it so well?
Man, it's my whole defense, man. We're all getting in the right spots. We're all communicating, over-communicating. That's so important on defense. And our coaches, man. Our coaches put us in the right spot, a game plan. Shout out to Coach Nelson, shout out to the whole defensive staff and the offensive staff as well. We're so focused on just doing our job and, being fast with everything that we do.
And you said it yourself, you wanted this post-game interview, and you definitely earned it.
Yeah, man. Last year, great game. I heard I missed the interview, but I'm happy that we 1-0 this week. 1-0 is so important. Now we're on to Kane.
Yeah, so 2-2 now. What are you guys looking at for the rest of the season?
There's no rest of the season. It's the next game. It's championship every week. So all we're worried about right now is Kane University. We're going to be down there, and that's all we're worried about. No looking past that. We have a big game. It's a championship game, and it's 1-0 this week.
Awesome. Really great stuff. I want to give a thank you to you guys for putting on such an incredible
Can I
show
say
for us.
something real quick?
Of course.
I want to say that Nick Burgess looked a lot slower this year on his pick six than he did
No,
last year. Thank you.
no way.
Great night.
No way. You have to ask the fans
Mic
that
drop.
question.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Great job today. Very special shout out to you, Nick Burgess, and the entire Montclair State football team, and a special shout out to all the behind the scenes, all the people behind the cameras and Studio C over in the school communication. None of this would be possible without all of you.
Yeah, thank you for everyone here at the Red Hawk Sports Network. This has been a true honor. A giant crew here all putting this together. And I'm Connor Cooper, and I've enjoyed this. Matt Bruce can say the same, I know for a fact.
Go Red Hawks.
You want to say, for the Red Hawk Sports Network, have a good night?
From the Red Hawk Sports Network, have a good night.
Yes, indeed.
There we go. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.